Sussex's innings ready to get underway here in this second semi-final, live on BBC Sussex Sport, ball-by-ball commentary coming from Adrian Harms and Bruce Talbot.
And it looks very much, Johnny, as if it is going to be Max Waller, who we were talking about earlier on, who's such a key bowler for Somerset, who's going to open the bowling to Phil Salt coming in from the pavilion end here at Edgbaston, which is, I say packed to the rafters, but I think every seat is sold. I think quite a few people may have wandered out to have a beer or two or get some refreshments, but I'm sure it's going to fill up again pretty quickly. So it's going to be Max Waller who's going to bowl the opening over of this second semi-final, bowling to the right-handed Phil Salt. At this stage of proceedings, we have to have 7 fielders inside the 30-yard circle, only 2 allowed out, and they are a long on and a fielder at deep mid-wicket, almost cow corner, and it's going to be Max Waller who's going to get things underway. I suspect we're just waiting for the television company to get ready before we get underway, and what a big occasion this is for Phil Salt. He was only 22 the other day, Bruce. But what a stage for him today.
Well, you know, in the past, years and years ago, if you perform well in the one-day final, at least a bit at the end of the season, you get on an England tour.
In comes Waller and bowls, and Salt is forward. He's hit on the pad, the ball bounces back down the track, and there is no run. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men saving one on the offside, 2 on the leg side, both of those behind square. There's a short fine leg and a backward square leg, 2 men out on the leg side boundaries. Waller is in and bowls, and Salt drives through the offside, and that could be the first boundary of the innings. No, it's not. It's a very good piece of fielding out here by Rolf van der Merwe, who prevents anything more than a single. So Sussex are on their way. Phil Salt gets the first run of Sussex's T20 finals day at a packed Edgbaston. Not too much blue sky around, in fact quite a lot of cloud around, but a forecast is it's going to stay dry. And Luke Wright, who I just think is absolutely key for Sussex today.
And another incentive for Luke, as if he didn't need any today, Adrian. If Sussex get to the final, it'd be his 300th T20 game. That's not a bad record, is it?
Well, is that 300?
T20 games all over the world, in all formats and all competitions and all neighbourhoods. Yeah.
Now, someone is standing up behind the bowler's arm, which is never good news, but Luke Wright is now ready. In comes Max Waller, running in over the wicket, bowls, and Luke Wright is straight away on his way, just turns that quietly into the onside and takes a single as the throw comes in from deep mid-wicket. So both Sussex batsmen are on their way. 3 balls gone here on BBC Sussex live cricket from Edgbaston. It's T20 finals day. Worcestershire will await the winners as Waller is in again with this straight approach, slow right arm, and Salt plays this to backward square leg, fielded there by Jerome Taylor. And it's another dot ball. He's a canny operator, isn't he, Max Waller?
Very experienced, and there's already, you know, the first ball that he bowled, actually, that turned a little bit. So definitely something in it for the slow bowlers.
In comes Waller again, over the wicket bowls, and Salt drives into the offside. That's going to be 4 runs, only just eluding the clutches of the fielder at extra cover, but it races away, and it's the first boundary of the innings, and Sussex go to 6 without loss. It just evaded Lewis Gregory, who was diving there at extra cover, couldn't get a hand on it, was in the air a bit too long for my liking, but nonetheless it's 4 runs.
Yeah, risky shot, and you've got to play some risky shots sometimes in this format. That would have been a fantastic catch, but he wasn't really near it in the end.
Waller in again and driven straight down the ground by Phil Salt, and that's going to be another boundary to the young Sussex opener, drilled straight down the ground by Phil Salt. So he finishes the overs with back-to-back boundaries, and that's a good start for Sussex. They're 10 without loss, 9 to Phil Salt, 1 to Luke Wright. Yeah,
better shot that last one of the over. Lovely straight drive or on drive by Phil Salt. So he'll already feel a lot better about himself. He'll feel confident. I've got a couple of boundaries under my belt. We've made a decent start. And I think it's going to be Jerome Taylor.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, it's Jerome Taylor that, as we've mentioned, the former Sussex player, had a little spell with Sussex last season playing in the 50-over competition ahead of a West Indies tour here. Still quite sharp, still quite rapid, good one-day operator. Very surprised that he's wasn't involved in the Caribbean Premier League, actually, which is still going on, but there you go. He probably gets more money paying for Somerset than he does for the St Kitts Chargers or whatever. Anyway, Jerome Taylor's going to bowl the first over from the Birmingham end. The old city end here at Edgbaston, for those of us who've been coming here for many years. It got renamed, I think, when the ground got redeveloped a few years ago. But he's just looking behind his arm, a little bit of movement there to the wide of the sight screen. We think that's where the Sussex supporters are, at the city end.
I thought there'd be some stewards up there, wouldn't you, preventing people coming down the aisles, but...
There is a steward right at the front, sitting right at the front of the stairs, but he's
not doing anything.
Not doing a great deal, no. As Jerome Taylor comes in to bowl to the Sussex captain, Luke Wright. He's up to the wicket and bowls, and Wright drives into the offside, straight to mid-off. Misfield there, but it wasn't costly in terms of a run. So a dot ball to start with by Taylor. Sussex 10 without loss in the second over, having won the toss here at Edgbaston, and they're playing for the right to face Worcestershire, who Sussex have never played in T20, in the final later on today.
Right out the middle of Luke Wright's back, that bet, Bruce.
Yeah, it was a decent shot, a couple of yards either side. It probably would have been 4. We've mentioned the very big outfield at Edgbaston, but it is quite quick. Here comes Taylor again, up to the wicket to bowl to Wright, who shovels that into the leg side, and he'll get a comfortable single off the hips and just sort of guided it down to deep backward square. Just 1 run, fielded down there by Tom Abel. 11 without loss, Sussex in the second over. Salt into strike on 9, Luke Wright on 2. And Ben Brown has come to join us, the Sussex captain. And we'll get the thoughts of Ben in a few moments. Good to see you, Ben.
Good to see you both. Good to be here.
As Jerome Taylor comes in to bowl to Phil Salt. He's up to the wicket and bowls, and that's short, and Salt pulls, and that's going to be 4. That's a terrific shot. Great placement as well, and power by Phil Salt onto it very, very quickly. And that is he's hit 3 boundaries, and that was his best. Terrific shot. Ben?
And fantastic power again from Phil Salt, isn't it? There's not much of a gap out there between those 2 fielders, and he's absolutely dissected them, and he looks fearless again here, Phil Salt.
Yeah, probably 10 yards between those two, a bit more, maybe 15, 20 yards between the 2 fielders, but he absolutely does. He's been spending some time in the gym, hasn't he, Ben, by the look of him?
Yeah, big shoulders.
Yeah.
From the winter, these big shoulders.
As Taylor comes in again to bowl from the Birmingham end to, I'm not sure we caught too much of what Ben just said a few moments ago, but we'll go back to that in a minute. Taylor up to the wicket to bowl, and Salt stands deep in his crease, and he's out, he's gone, he's caught at mid-off. He's obviously disappointed, Phil Salt. I'm not sure quite. It may have been a slower ball there, but he's driven it straight to mid-off, sort of extra cover area. And Sussex have lost their first wicket in the second over. They are 15 for 1.
To be honest with you, hard to argue with the stroke there. You know, he's hit it hard, powerfully. Either side of the man, that's 4 again. So I think, look, he'll be disappointed, but it's his role to get us off the flyers. And, you know, sometimes you will be unlucky. And it looked a good catch as well, because he hit that hard.
Yeah, he did.
It's T20, Ben, isn't it? You've got to take some risks sometimes, haven't you?
Absolutely, and especially for Phil Salt. The more risk he takes, the less risk that Luke Wright has to take early in his innings, which allows him to build a platform to hopefully go and get the match-winning score. So, look, it's an unselfish role for Phil Salt, and it won't always come off, but you know, he's still got a couple of boundaries early there and got us off and running. Yeah,
it's interesting because I was talking to Luke about this a few weeks ago when Sussex qualified. That used to be his role, didn't it? The Phil Salt role, and someone would play at the other end, sometimes Murray Goodwin or someone like that, who would just build the innings, and it would be Luke teeing off, or Chris Nash obviously as well, fulfilled that role for a period as well.
Absolutely, and obviously now Wrighty's a senior guy, captain out there. We ideally want Wrighty to play himself in, and it's a role that Salty's done fantastically well. It also allows someone like Laurie, you know, hopefully he'd take a few balls to get in and play a big innings.
Right, it's Laurie Evans on strike. The Sussex's leading run scorer in the T20 this year, and facing Jerome Taylor, and just quietly plays that into the onside, fielded by Taylor off his own bowling, and no run. The toss, Ben, I think it's a good toss to win. I don't. Was there much of a debate about perhaps bowling first?
Not really, to be honest. Looking at the first game there, it looks like slower balls are going to get harder and work, and it might be a bit of spin for Danny Briggs and Wilby. I think it's a good toss to win. I know Somerset said they would have bowled. I don't know if they were bluffing or what they would have done, but I think we were more than happy to have a bat first, to be honest.
And put a score on the, you know, I mentioned earlier on, you know, 170, something similar to what Worcestershire got will definitely keep Sussex in the game. It's Jerome Taylor again coming into Evans, and Evans drives into the offside and drives beautifully. Well, that's the shot of a man in form. Now, Laurie hasn't played a great deal of cricket since the Sussex Reach finals day, but he looks in fantastic nick, if that's evidence. What a lovely shot that was. Beautifully timed, creamed it through the covers for 4 runs. End of the second over, Sussex 19 for 1.
Yeah, it looks like he might have batted before at Edgbaston, Laurie, didn't it? Found his timing. The second ball, that's an unbelievable shot. He's had an incredible tournament, hasn't he? And hopefully for us the form can continue, because he has been in stunning form. I can't remember such consistency in a T20 tournament. When you're looking to take risks, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, we've just seen a replay of that shot, haven't we? And yeah, well, no, we've seen a replay of the previous ball, but he played it really, really well.
Well, it's going to be Jamie Overton who's going to pick up the Warwickshire attack, even the Somerset attack from the pavilion end of the ground, coming into bowl to Luke Wright. I thought, Ben, that Luke looked very relaxed all the build-up to this game. Yesterday, today, he looks in complete control of everything, Luke, at the minute.
Well, we're very lucky, aren't we, to have the head coach being so relaxed as well, so it helps a lot.
In comes Overton, running in over the wicket. He bowls, pulled away by Luke Wright. That's huge! That disappears into the Hollies stand, into all those dressed in fancy dress. Far too short from Overton, and just pulled away by Luke Wright. That was effortless. Sails into the stand. 6 runs. Luke Wright goes to 8, and the Sharks 25 for 1.
That is absolutely huge, isn't it? Great for the skipper to get off and running. There's a lot of pressure on the captain, but as you said, Dizzy's kept us so relaxed. Wrighty's been really relaxed, so I'm every chance to get a score here.
Just 2 men outside the circle. There's a deep mid-wicket and a third man. In comes Overton again. Bowls, and Luke Wright's at it again, and he clubs this one away. And that's going to be 6, or is it just pitched inside the boundary ropes? We're just waiting for the umpire's signal. It was driven away over extra cover, and we're just waiting to see whether that's a 4 or whether it's a 6. I didn't see the umpire's signal, so we wait for that to come up in a couple of moments' time. They're just getting clarification. That's 6.
Yeah, I thought it looked at 6.
Yeah, it looked at
6 runs, yeah. So back-to-back 6s for the Sussex skipper. The Sharks go to 31 without loss. Luke Wright, so key for Sussex in T20, is on 14 of just 5 deliveries. Overton in again. Right arm over the wicket, bowls to Luke Wright, who tucked this one down to short fine leg, fielded there by Jerome Taylor. Luke Wright looks heavenwards as if to say, I fancied another boundary.
Yeah, he could easily have snuck that inside 45. Great to see Wrighty getting on the front foot early. I know as captain sometimes you almost try too hard on an occasion like this, but it looks like Wrighty's going to be himself, be free and strike the ball as he can. 2 huge 6s already. That was a massive shot over extra cover as well. So again, a little bit of pressure off Laurie here.
I was going to say, does that just help Laurie a little bit here, just to settle in?
Definitely. All competition, he's taken a few balls to get in, then he's gone big. So hopefully he can work his way into this.
Into the third over innings. In comes Jamie Overton. Tall fast bowler comes in and bowls to Laurie Evans, who just fiddles that down to third man. It's a dot ball, but with Luke Wright already having hit those 2 6s in the over, just a little bit of pressure off the Sussex batsman. Live cricket here on the BBC Sussex. Myself, Adrian Harms, alongside Bruce Talbot, and really thrilled to be joined by Ben Brown, the Sussex club skipper, up here in the commentary box in front of a packed house here at Edgbaston. Overton turns and runs away from us. Number 8 on his back. He's coming into bowl to Laurie Evans. He's in and bowls. Evans drives handsomely through the offside. Doesn't quite time it, but nonetheless picks up a comfortable single fielded there by Peter Trigo. And Sussex go up by 1 to 33 for 1, and Laurie Evans 5 off 4 balls.
I think it's a really good start from Sussex. Everything about us at the moment looks in control of what we're doing. Even Phil Salt there at the start, he looked really in control and was unlucky. The boys look really calm and composed, which is massive in a semi-final. And I wouldn't be surprised if the scores come down today as we get on. So, it may be that it's a 160. Who knows? 170 wasn't chased. So
Overton comes in again. Last ball of the third over. Short and sails down the leg side. Is that going to be signalled? Well, I thought that was the last ball of the over. Has it been signalled?
No ball.
Yeah. So Overton wanders back to his mark. The total goes up to 35 for 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men saving 1 on the offside, 2 on the leg side. There's a deep square leg and a long on as Overton turns again and comes running in, bowling to the right-handed right. He's in and bowls well pitched up, and Luke Wright just plays that one slightly off the bottom of the bat towards the wicket. Nonetheless, it's a dot ball. It's the end of the third over, and Sussex will be delighted with their start here, Ben. 35 for 1. Luke Wright on 15, Laurie Evans on 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I get the feel today's been one of those days the power play might be the best time to bat, as it often is, but especially on this surface. The ball looks like it's going to grip a little bit later, so I think it's pretty important we take advantage of the first 6 here and a brand new ball.
And you talk about preparation, Ben. What would have been what would the boys have done last night? You talk about relaxed and what have you. What does that entail? Because I know you were practicing here yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah, we practiced very, very relaxed. A couple of games of football, got everyone going, and then just quiet dinners last night, and it's a very relaxed atmosphere, and that's what Dizzy brings. Very calm, very relaxed.
I think it's Lewis Gregory who's going to come in.
It is Lewis Gregory from the Birmingham end bowling to Laurie Evans, who plays that into the leg side. Is that going to beat backward square leg? No, it's not. The man running around from the boundary there fields, but they've gone through for a couple of runs. 37 for 1, Sussex. Ben, do you know where the Sussex fans are sitting?
Yeah, I do. So as we look out, it's sort of over Cow Corner there, if you like.
Right.
Yes,
By that
straight mid-wicket.
At the Birmingham end.
Yeah.
Right. Because we were trying to work out earlier, it's very hard to differentiate. It's not like football when you've got segregated, they're all segregated. Anyway, Evans plays that into the leg side towards long on, a comfortable single. He moves on to 9, and Luke Wright is 16. It's 38 for 1. And a few family members in that audience, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, family members, full squad, wives, girlfriends, parents. We've got a good group come up to support the lads, so it'll be a great atmosphere in there, I'd imagine. A few nerves for parents especially, though, I would have thought.
I was going to say, were you on the staff, you'll have to tell me this, when Sussex won here in 2009?
I was, I was.
Yeah, I thought
second
you might
year
be.
on the staff.
Second year, quite early in your career. Gregory into ball to Luke Wright. And Luke Wright drives into the offside, and there's no run. Well fielded there on one of the old pitches here at Edgbaston. We saw a couple of misfields earlier in the other semi-final when balls are rearing up off those old wickets, but no problem there for...
It's coming right out in the middle of Luke's bat, isn't it? I mean, that was a thumping shot, which augurs well for Sussex.
38 for 1 as Gregory comes in from the Birmingham end bowl to Wright. And Wright pulls very well, just over the reach of the fielder at mid-wicket. A couple of oohs and ahs in the commentary box, but that would have been a fantastic catch. It's Van der Merwe there at mid-wicket. It's gone over him for 4. A slightly risky shot, but Luke Wright will tell you that he was always in control of that. 42 for 1.
Never in doubt, was it? We were all jumping up there. It was just over his head.
Just off the bottom, not the toe end, just off the bottom section of the bat. But the bats these days, well, they're like railway sleepers, aren't they? As Gregory comes in to Wright, and Wright pulls again in front of square, and that is going to be fielded out there by Tom Abel running round from the boundary, but not before they cross for 2 very comfortable runs. Well played, Luke Wright. 44 for 1. Here in the 4th over here at Edgbaston, Sussex won the toss here against Somerset for the right. The winners here to play Worcestershire in the final. They'll be pretty pleased, I'd imagine, downstairs in that dugout, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. Great start this. I really will settle down the whole dugout, I think. Captain's off and running. Laurie's looking good. No, we'll be very happy with this.
Gregory into ball to Luke Wright, who drives straight to mid-off. No run there. 44 for 1. And that is the end of the 4th over. Luke Wright is on 22, and Laurie Evans is on 8. And 44 for 1, 11 runs and over. Ben,
we spoke yesterday just about sort of throwing the first punch in the day. Whether you're batting, you're bowling, you're fielding, just throwing that punch, and be it body language, be it your first few balls at the crease, whatever it is, running between the wickets. And I certainly think all 3 batters have done that so far. We've run well, we're hitting the ball hard into the gaps, and we're looking for boundaries straight away. So immediately I feel Somerset are under a little bit of pressure here, and it's exactly what we spoke about yesterday.
And when you're having those conversations and those talks, who's leading those? Is it the captain or the coach or one of the senior players, or is
I
it
think
just
very
a
much
collective
a mix
thing?
of everyone. Yeah, I think we've got a healthy environment. Everyone can pipe up, but it was certainly something, someone like Wright has played all around the world in big occasions. He knows how to get off and running.
Well, Jerome Taylor's coming in from the pavilion end. He's in over the wicket, bowls to Laurie Evans, who plays this to mid-wicket, fielded there by, I think it's Anderson in there, and there is no run. 44 for 1. Luke Wright on 21, Laurie Evans on 8. Live cricket here on BBC Sussex. Myself, Adrian Harms, alongside Bruce Talbot and the Sussex club skipper Ben Brown, overlooking a packed Edgbaston. I think those who disappeared for a beer during the interval are pretty much back, because there's very few seats around the ground that aren't occupied now as Taylor turns. The sun is back with us briefly, and Taylor is in over the wicket bowls. That's a full toss, hits Laurie Evans on the pads. Oh, he's given out. Well, it was a full toss from Jerome Taylor. Laurie Evans looking to work that one away through the leg side. He's been hit in front, and Laurie Evans is on his way for 9, and a second wicket goes down. And I have to say it's a rather fortunate wicket for Somerset. A full toss from Jerome Taylor, and Sussex have lost their second wicket and are now 44 for 2.
Yeah, it was a strange one, wasn't it? I really didn't expect him to miss it, but you have to say it did look very straight. And yeah, a bit of a funny dismissal for Laurie, who's had a fantastic competition. So big blow for us there, but all credit to Laurie. He's had a great competition so far.
Well, this brings in a young man, and this is where the skipper's experience is going to be vital here, Ben. Young Delray Rawlings coming in, Michael Burge as well, batting up the order. So I guess, Delray's going to have some butterflies here. But Laurie was saying to me earlier in the competition, he's kind of a big match player, Delray.
Well, he's shown no fear, has he?
No.
Every time he bats, be it Lords, be it the Oval, big quarter-final, he's looked like he's gone out there and he looks like he belongs. So let's hope it's the exact same today. I don't think he'll be overawed by the occasion at all.
So, Jerome Taylor back to his mark, left-handed. Delray Rawlings comes in, does a little bit of gardening. There are still 5 fielders inside the 30-yard circle on the offside in an arc from short third man or backward point down towards mid-off. There's a mid-wicket, a short fine leg, then a deep square leg and a long on. As in comes Jerome Taylor. Well, he just waits for a minute. Rawlings just surveying the field. Sussex 44 for 2 in the 5th over. And now actually they're going to put a slip in place.
Just seen a replay of that last one. I think that might have been sliding down leg side, Adrian, that full toss from Taylor, but too late now.
Yeah, as in comes Taylor running away from us. He's in and bowls to Rawlings, who plays that in there. Oh, very nearly caught. A backward point. The throw comes in. Oh, Rawlings would have been run out by a country mile if it had hit, as it is. Well, what a comedy of errors that was. Delray Rawlings very nearly caught at backward point. Then the throw came in. Luke Wright called him through. If the throw had hit, he was gone by half a wicket.
Yeah, nice calm start from Delray.
I can't stand it, Ben.
Yeah, I told you it'd be nice and composed, didn't I?
The thing is, he jogged through for the second run like it was the easiest. Oh, this is like a Sunday afternoon game.
Like he planned it.
I thought Jofra Archer was the most relaxed and calm member of the squad, but I think he's got someone who could match him for that.
Was that a drop at backward point? I mean,
I don't think it carried. Yeah, I don't think it carried.
Taylor runs away from us, comes into bite to Delray Rawlings, who places firmly down the ground, and it hit Jerome Taylor. It doesn't go for a run. The ball bounces away into the leg side, and it's a dot ball. It's all happening.
That's much better from Delray there. Nice and still. Great contact on the ball. That looks like he's much more settled. I know he didn't get a run, but that's better signs for him.
I noticed Luke Wright just going down and having a quick word with Delray Rawlings as well. I'm sure he must have a few butterflies.
Yeah, absolutely. You're dead right. Having Wrighty out there will be a huge plus for Delray in what's a huge moment in a young man's career.
Taylor turns and runs away from us into the left-handed Rawlings. Is in and bowls, and Rawlings is beaten outside the off stump, taken there by Stephen Davis.
It's close, that was it. Look, can't quite see how that missed, to be honest.
Well, it was close to an outside edge and close to taking his off stump as well. And Jerome Taylor, who's vastly experienced cricketer, played of course for Sussex.
Yeah, he did.
Last season.
Yeah, he did. Good cricketer, but Delray was 21 yesterday, so let's hope he gets some luck around his birthday. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
One more ball of this 5th over to go, and Sussex are 46 for 2 as Jerome Taylor turns in front of us and comes running into bowl to the left-handed Delray Rawlings. He's in and bowls, and that's shorter. It's a slower delivery past the outside of the off-stump. Rawlings swishes his bat, taken by Stephen Davis. You have to say it's a good over by Jerome Taylor, an over that accounted for Laurie Evans, who was LBW.
Oh, it's missing.
Yeah.
Just seen a replay there, yeah, just missing a leg stump there, so Laurie pretty unlucky.
End of the 5th over, 46 for 2. Right on 21, Delray Rawlings on 2. Just this, I mean, I guess it's a rhetorical question, really, but a lot more responsibility on Luke now with Laurie Evans already back in the pavilion.
Definitely. I think that was a good early sign as well. That last ball from Jerome Taylor, just stuck in a slower ball, really foxed Delray there, and I think you're going to see a lot more of that as the game goes on from both sides. I think the slower ball is going to be a key component here.
All right, we're going to start the 6th over, the last over of the power play. And it's going to be bowled by,
I think it's Lewis Gregory.
Lewis Gregory again, yes it is. And the first ball of the over is worked into the leg side by Luke Wright for a single. And Sussex now 47 for 2. I have to say, this is a fantastic arena now, Edgbaston, but the scoreboard is not a great deal better than the old one with the tins that there used to be here years and years ago. It's not great viewing scoreboard for us, but we plough on, 47 for 2. Lewis Gregory at the Birmingham end. It's Delray Rawlings who's into strike now. And Gregory's up to the wicket and bowls. And Delray Rawlings takes a couple of steps down the pitch looking to pull him. He misses the ball, goes through to the keeper. So a signal of intent there from Delray Rawlings, certainly.
Just think Del just needs to settle a little bit. Even if we came out the power play 50 for 2, I think we'd be happy with that. I think we'd probably say, we're
at least
in
par,
our favour.
Yeah,
exactly, par, yeah, for sure.
Yes, Luke Wright probably needs to have another word with his partner, but let's see what this next ball brings as Gregory comes into bowl, and Delray Rawlings again tries. Well, that's a decent response, to be fair, from Gregory outside off stump, and no run. And there's a bit of bounce, I think, as well, Ben, in this pitch, or am I?
Yeah, I think
it
it's a little bit stoppy. I think slower balls are sticking. You can see there, Del was well through his shot, and the ball sort of dribbling through to the keeper, just sort of stuck over over his bat there. So I don't think this is going to be easy to score runs on as the game wears on at all.
And like you say, it might get progressively slower and more prevalent as Gregory bowls to Rawlins, who is off the mark this time, shovels that into the leg side. There'll just be a single, but Delroy feel a little bit better about himself now. He's got his first runs of this semi-final. Luke Wright into strike on 22. Key man now for Sussex. We say it so often about Luke, and we've been saying it about him for a long time. He is an absolutely pivotal member of this T20 outfit. In his 299th T20 game this afternoon, that's some record. Anyway, Gregory into right, and Wright drives over mid-off for 4, or is it 6? It's 6. Great shot from Luke Wright. Well, again, a real proper cricket shot, Ben. No slogging about that at all. He's just hit through the line, over mid-off, bounced couple of yards beyond the boundary. What a terrific blow to bring up the Sussex 50.
Fantastic shot, and what he's done there is just eased the pressure off Delray. You know, he's just struggled early on in his innings. Wrighty's come back and counter-attack with a fantastic shot over the top, and now if we get through the next ball of this power play, we've had a really good power play, I think.
Yeah, 54 for 2. People moving the arm. It's a problem, and there's not a lot of stewarding going on, but it's still going on. People actually moving. The sight screen at the Birmingham end is sort of overlapping onto some of the seats as well. So you've got people sitting at the top of the stairs now with drinks in their hand. It's all a bit not very well stewarded, and it must be frustrating for the players. As Gregory comes into bowl to Luke Wright, plays into the leg side. There'll be certainly one run here. I think that's Tom Abel down there. Yeah, just the single to Luke Wright. So the power play finishes with Sussex 55 for 2. Luke Wright on 29 and Delray Rawlins on 3.
Yeah, live cricket here on BBC Sussex. Myself, Adrian Harms, Bruce Talbot, alongside the Sussex club skipper Ben Brown. That's poor Ben, isn't it? When you've got, Luke ready to take strike, you've got people wandering. I mean, I'm not against people having drinks in cricket grounds, but surely there should be a steward down there.
Yeah, well, it's been consistent through the day, hasn't it? Yeah, consistent irritation. No one's here to watch stoppages of play. Yeah, we just need someone up there to police that, because it's getting a bit irritating. I guess it might be because the crowd for occasion like this, not all cricket aficionados who know that you shouldn't be moved behind the bowler's arm when an over's being delivered, but yeah, it certainly needs to be stewarded a lot better.
So now Somerset only have to have the 4 fielders inside the 30-yard circle. It's going to be Rollo van der Merwe who's going to come into bowl from the pavilion end. So there's a short third man, a backward point, extra cover, a short fine leg. Then on the leg side, 3 fielders out on the boundary, a deep square leg, deep mid wicket. There's a long on, a long off, and a sweeper on the cover boundary, as Luke Wright just takes his time to survey where the fielders are, and Van der Merwe is in. Left arm around the wicket, he comes in and bowls, and Luke Wright to a short ball, pulls that one out to that fielder at deep mid wicket, who's Tom Abel, gets in the throw to Davis. One more to Luke Wright, he goes to 30 off 16, Sussex 56 for 2.
Just interesting to see early here whether we get any spin from Van der Merwe. He's not a big spinner of the ball, but I think it will give a bit of a clue perhaps to what's going to be a good score here, and it's why it's crucial, I know we've said it already, why it's crucial that Wrighty's out there as long as possible, just to kind of marshal what we think is a good score here.
Van der Merwe again, left arm around the wicket, comes in and bowls to Delray Rawlings, who thumps this one down the ground. That's going to be 6 runs, high, wide and handsome, and Delray Rawlings uses his feet and smashes the ball over long on for 6 runs. That's more like it, right down the middle of the bat.
I think he knew before us, didn't he? We were up out of our seats looking to see if it had gone for 6, and he was casually stood at the crease. He knew he'd got it. Great shot, left hand as the left arm spinner, a bit easier to take him on.
Van der Merwe again, Delray Rawlings goes on to 9. Van der Merwe in again, bowls, and Delray Rawlings just fiddles that one around the corner, down towards a short fine leg, picks up another single though. He goes to 10 off 9 deliveries, and Sussex to 63 for 2 here in the 7th over. It brings Luke Wright back onto strike.
Good cricket from Del there. Got a 6, but just calmed himself down, then knock a single, get Luke Wright back on strike. That's good cricket.
Right. Waits, Van der Merwe in again, around the wicket bowls, and Luke Wright is just forward and just plays that. Very cool. What happened to that ball, Ben?
Yeah, a little bit of spin there. I thought it might do. He bowled it quite quick actually, and just stuck in. Wrighty was able to readjust his shot, but I'm not sure. We're not going to see. I don't think we're going to see a 200 scoreline. If we do, it would be fantastic. I think it's a 160 maybe.
Van der Merwe in again, bowls, and that's shorter, and Luke Wright just tucks that one back kind of square on the leg side and picks up a comfortable single, does the Sussex skipper. He goes to 31 off 18 deliveries, and Sussex to 64 for 2, having won the toss and decided to bat first. Phil Salt and Laurie Evans are the men out, as Rollo van der Merwe is back to his mark. Left arm spin, comes in off about half a dozen paces. He's in and bowls, and Delray Rawlings sweeps effectively. That's a super shot by Delray Rawlings. Beautifully played and beautifully picked out the space as well, right between the two fielders. The ball raced away for 4 runs. Really good over for Sussex. Rawlings goes to 14 off 10 and Sussex to 68 for 2.
Yeah, more good cricket from Delray, isn't it? It's just sensible. A left-arm spinner to a left-handed batter has got to be a better risk for us than righty taking on the left-arm spinner, especially when there's a bit of spin. So, again, looks like the partnership is dovetailing nicely there. Delray's just got himself going and taking a bit of heat off righty against a difficult bowler.
Yeah, he looks to the manner born, doesn't he? Delray looks like he's absolutely relishing this occasion, Ben. And I think sometimes with young players that's the case. You know, they relish it, they enjoy it, they want the the big crowd and the noise and the atmosphere and everything like that. Terrific to see. That was two really good shots in that over, and maybe given Somerset one or two things to think about. Because they probably imagine Van der Merwe was going to would have bowled the next over. They plan to bowl him a couple of overs at least in a row. That might have to change now. It's going to be spin from Max Waller at the Birmingham end, the leg spinner, experienced leg spinner, and Luke Wright plays that comfortably into the leg side. Big gap there, so an easy single for Wright, and he moves on to 32. And Sussex are 69 for 2 in the 8th over. So far so good. A couple of early wickets. Phil Salt fell for 12 and Laurie Evans for 9, but since then Rawlings and Luke Wright have rebuilt very nicely indeed. It's Waller coming into bowl to Rawlings, and Rawlings reverse sweeps 4-4. That's a lovely shot as well. We saw him unfurl a couple of those at Durham in the quarter-final. He plays it really well, Ben, doesn't he?
Fantastic shot. Waller actually put pace on the ball there. So Delray did brilliantly to readjust and his hands are so fast. I was just thinking, Waller's not to be underestimated here. He's actually a very crafty 2020 bowler. He's sort of an unusual leg spinner.
He's in again and bowls, and Rawlings goes long and wide. He's going to be caught by the keeper. Yeah, that's, I'm afraid, a poor shot by Delray. Max Waller does a somersault of delight. His hands are in the air, and Delray Rawlings, a brief but eventful innings is over. He's gone for 14. He's gone for the big top edge, caught by the keeper. Sussex 69 for 3.
Yeah, a real shame that, I guess, in hindsight, perhaps he didn't need to go again after the boundary, but look, he's played a good cameo role there. And as I say, Max Waller is a really crafty bowler. He's down as a leg spinner, but over the years he's actually sort of turned himself into an off spinner. He bowls the odd seamer. He'll roll one out. Not really bowls leg spin. It's sort of licorice all sorts, if you like. Interesting. David Visa's coming out to bat early here
instead of Burgess. Yeah, what would be any idea why that might be?
Just try to work it out myself, to be honest.
We're looking to you for insight. And,
I wasn't expecting that. So, well, look, Righty's out there, so I'd imagine that's probably a coaching one, or whether the lads have discussed it with themselves. But Visa's hugely dangerous, especially he's got obviously all the time in the world to have a look and play himself in. So perhaps holding Burgess back for the death. Yeah,
that's a good point you make, Ben. There's still 12 overs, 11 point something overs to go in this inning. So plenty of time for David Visa, like we say, to have a look. Just feel now, Sussex, let's 3 or 4 overs. Let's just keep it ticking along. Bad balls, put them away, and let's just build ourselves a platform for those last sort of 5 or 6 overs. Visa's going to face his first ball, and that's down the leg side, and that's a wide from Max Waller.
I think what happened in the Worcester innings is the period where they lost wickets as well. I think the spin's going to be really hard and a really key moment in the game. I just think it's important we don't try and overclub here.
As Visa, he's hit on the pads by that second delivery from Max Waller. Half an appeal from Waller, not much of an appeal from behind the stumps by Steve Davis. In the end, there's David Visa trots through for a leg by 71 for 3, so Luke Wright back into strike.
I think the scoreboards are out of sync actually. The big scoreboard's got 75 for 3. I think it's 75 for 3, but they seem to be 4 runs differential between the two, which isn't great.
Let's go with 75.
Yeah, we'll have that.
Yeah, it was 73 the fall of that third wicket as Wright plays off the back foot. This next delivery from Max Waller up towards long off. It's going to be cut off, but there's 2 reasonably comfortable runs. Yeah, no problem there, jogging through 4-2. So 77 for 3 now. We are a little bit confused here. Yeah, that one scoreboard on the right, that's probably the more reliable. I'm looking at the screen here as well, and that's obviously a couple of balls behind. That's only saying 73 for 2. So
I'm not sure about Max Waller's celebration, incidentally.
A little bit over the top, you think?
Not keen on that at all.
No. Waller in again, and Luke Wright plays him nicely down to long on. Just a single, so just milking these runs here after the loss of Rawlings earlier in that over. Yeah, a little bit over the top, Ben, perhaps, wasn't it?
I think maybe you could leave those at Taunton, perhaps. We don't need those. Thanks very much. I noticed he did one at Hove, some sort of worm along the ground. Maybe I'm old-fashioned now, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
You're not that old.
Yeah, I know.
We're old-fashioned.
Yeah, we're the old-fashioned ones, yeah.
So, end of the 8th over. We think the score, and we say we think because there are two scoreboards inside the ground, both of which say different scores. One says 78 for 3, the other one says 74 for 3. So hopefully they'll get things sorted out. I'm sure that Mike Charman, the Sussex scorer, will have it absolutely right.
Hope so.
So we're going to assume it's 78 for 3. Luke Wright is on strike. And it's going to be Rolf van der Merwe who's going to come in again, bowling his left arm spin from this pavilion end. He's in and bowls to Luke Wright, who just tucks this one nicely away into the leg side and picks up a comfortable single. The scoreboards are synchronised. That's good news. And Luke Wright goes to 36, I think that's going to click over to, of 22 balls.
I think smart cricket here from Wright. I think he knows, runs-wise, I think we're ahead of the game here. So I think if we can just keep wickets in hand and then go again at the end, we can end up with a score over par.
Van der Merwe in again, bowls, and Avisa plays this from the crease and just plays it through those inner ring of fielders to the sweeper, who's Jerome Taylor, who throws the ball over the top of the stumps to Stephen Davis. 1 to David Visa. That's Visa's first run, and Sussex to 80 for 3. And it brings the Sussex danger man on strike, Luke Wright, the skipper. 36 of 22 deliveries, leading from the front, as so often in T20 cricket. He waits for Van der Merwe, who comes in from the pavilion end, left arm around the wicket, he bowls, and Wright just stretches forward and again just plays that easily and comfortably into the leg side. They'll look for 2, but probably knowing that there isn't 2 there, and Tom Abel, who's very quick across the ground, comes in and fields one more to Luke Wright. He goes to 37 of 23 balls. Sussex 81 for 3 in this second semi-final. Worcestershire await the winners, having beaten Lancashire, we have to say, convincingly in the first semi-final. Van der Merwe in again and bowls, and Visa's down the wicket, driving down to long on, where it's fielded by Jamie Overton. Just a single. I thought for a moment that was carried to Jamie Overton.
I think we all did, didn't we?
3 pairs of eyes just leaning over just to make sure that didn't go straight down.
It looks like, Visa's obviously been sent in to have a go, and again that hopefully allow Luke Wright just to play a sensible hand here, because we'd love Wrighty to be here 15 overs, gone, something like that, and he could be so dangerous at the end.
Wright surveys the field, 82 for 3. Van der Merwe in, and Luke Wright just plays that carefully into the offside, picking his spot, just plays the ball through point and picks up another single, does Luke Wright. He goes on to 38 of 24 balls, 83 for 3 are Sussex. Van der Merwe back to his mark. Good over so far from the left arm spinner. He's in around the wicket, bowls, and Visa cuts firmly to backward point. They were thinking about a single, now they do go for a single. Never field on a misfield is the old maxim, but in the end David Visa, a bit of yesing and knowing, goes through for a single. So he goes to 3 of 4 deliveries. That's the end of the 9th over here at Edgbaston on T20 Finals Day here on BBC Sussex. And Sussex are 84 for 3. Luke Wright on 38, David Visa is on 3.
Pretty pleased, I imagine, Ben. They will be in the dugout. 9 overs gone, 84.
Yeah, I think we're well placed. As I say, runs-wise, I think we're ahead of the game. I think it'd be really handy if we don't lose too many more wickets in the next maybe 3 or 4 overs. I think Visa will still look to play his shots and be the aggressor, but if we can get to that point in the innings, I think pressure of a semi-final will be right on top.
All right, here we go, the 10th over. So nearly halfway through this innings. Time is going very quickly. It's Jamie Overton into the attack from the Birmingham end, bowling to Visa, who plays him nicely down towards long on. There'll be certainly 1 run. They'll think about a second, but no. Luke Wright says we'll no need to take any risks at this stage, and they settle for a single. 85 for 3. Sussex having won the toss here at Edgbaston. Crucial, I think. And if Sussex do get through, I imagine if they win the toss again, Ben, it will be another case of setting a score.
I think both teams will want to bat first in the final.
It's Luke Wright facing Overton, steaming in from the Birmingham end, bowling, and Wright plays him into the leg side. There's a huge gap there. The man coming in from deep mid-wicket has to do the fielding, but they've gone through for a single.
You can definitely see the pattern of the partnership, can't you? Wrighty's just more than happy to milk the bowling at this stage, and I think Visa will look for the odd boundary here wherever he can, and they'll run hard in between that. Yeah, I think you're spot on, Ben, your assessment about Luke's role in this innings and how deep he has to bat to give Sussex an opportunity to get a really, really competitive score. Visa's on strike to Overton, short and pulled by Visa, short of the man Jerome Taylor at backward square. Just a single, in control of that, landed about 10 yards in front of Taylor, but no chance of a catch.
in control from David Wiese. He practices a shot there at the non-striker's end as Luke Wright remarks his guard and surveys the scene. There's a short third man, backward point, cover, just 3 men saving 1 on the offside, and there's a delay again. Well, I'm not sure there was too much movement behind the arm there. There was.
Yeah, there is. I think there's someone standing up.
There's an inflatable bouncing up.
Yeah. An inflatable watermelon, we're told, is causing the distraction, of course. Yeah, it's T20 finals day. That's what people bring to these occasions.
He threw that back in the first place when we were walking around the ground. So it's probably his own fault.
Anyway, Jamie Overton bowling to the Sussex captain Luke Wright, who plays him back down the pitch and fielded in his follow-through by Overton. So good over so far from a Somerset point of view. Sussex 87 for 3. This is the 10th over, so very nearly halfway here in this Sussex innings. Big crowd, not many empty seats now. A few people probably getting beers or something to eat, but we've got a 20,000 plus audience, and really is a fantastic arena now, Edgbaston, Ben, and I think it just suits this occasion to be, it's got to be at Edgbaston. It's the home of T20. I know they've had a 1 year at Cardiff and what have you, but this is the place where it should be played. Overton into bowl to Wright, who skims out through the offside for 4. That's a terrific shot from Luke Wright. Just a little bit of width offered by Overton, and Luke Wright was onto it in a flash and skimmed that backward a point for a boundary.
Real bonus boundary that, Overton's got that wrong. Too full, too wide. If Righty, he's just looking to hit the gaps at the moment. I think he'll feel a real bonus boundary that. Really handy. But you're right, Edgbaston, they do this day brilliantly, don't they? All the things that are going on outside the ground as well. People every now and again bouncing up on that huge...
the harness thing over there,
huge harness.
You're going to have a go?
Absolutely not.
Look at this, more people coming down those steps. I mean...
I can see 3 security people on the other side.
Yeah,
of
doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, talking to each other. It is ridiculous, and it's unsettling for the players, and it's not befitting the occasion. Anyway, Luke Wright's got to put that out of his mind as the next ball from Overton is driven into the offside, but no run. Wright sends his partner back, and that's the end of the 10th over. So Sussex halfway through here, 91 for 3. Luke Wright on 43 and David Wiese on 5.
There's huge pressure on the captains to make sure we get through on the time. There's very, very little time to get through our 20 overs without penalties. So obviously the umpires can take it into consideration, but it's becoming a bit of a shambles if every other over we're going to have to wait.
And I can see the umpire has gone down to the far end. I'd imagine he's going to have a word to one of the stewards and say, why don't you earn your money and go and stand at the... I think it's exactly probably what
he's just sat there motionless for the last 25 minutes, and now he's finally doing what he's paid to do.
That's just ridiculous, isn't it? Get to the top of the steps and stop people coming down.
Yeah, he's done the right thing there, the umpire, isn't
Absolutely.
Well, it's Max Waller now. Sorry, Adrian, you're over.
No problem. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 19 as Max Waller. He comes into bowl to the right-handed David Wiese. He's in and bowls, and Wiese pulls that one away without time. He's going to get a single down towards deep square. In fact, they're going to come back for 2. Oh, he's going to struggle here. Oh, it's an awful throw over the head of Stephen Davis. In fact, had that been over the top of the stumps from Anderson, that might well have been close.
Big slice of luck that for Sussex, wasn't it? It looked for all money that Wiese was struggling there. There was a little bit of hesitation. I think he would have been out comfortably there had that throw been anywhere near Stevie Davis.
Wiese goes to 7 off 7 deliveries, 93 for 3. Waller in and chopped away by David Wiese back to the square. This time it will only be the single fielded there. Short third man by... who's that down there? That is Peter Trigo, who hasn't bowled yet, interestingly enough.
In his last year for Somerset, I believe. I think he's not having his contract renewed, I read somewhere.
Really?
So, yeah, I think this will be his last finals day. I think so, yeah.
He's been some servant for Somerset down the years.
Absolutely.
As Waller is back to his mark. Now, Luke Wright on strike, 43 off 28 deliveries. Waller is in and bowls, and Wright just on the back foot just steers that through the covers to the sweeper on the cover boundary, who's Jerome Taylor. Gets in the throw to Stephen Ace. One more to Luke Wright. Patience is a virtue here for Luke Wright. He's on 44 off 29, and Sussex 95 for 3.
He did so well to get ahead of the game in the power play, Luke. And now he can really afford to just sit for a few more overs. I'm really liking the way he's going about it.
In the 11th over, Waller is in and bowls, and Wiese swings away, but he's going to be caught. No, he's not caught. That was fielded on the bounce out there. I think that's Tom Abel out there. I thought he was going to be caught momentarily.
Brilliant bit of fielding, wasn't it?
It was a brilliant bit of fielding.
Scooped it up on the half volley. Wiese just hasn't quite got his timing yet, has he? He's looking threatening, but hopefully he can get going soon.
No, you're right. It's a fine bit of fielding, and it's just a single to David Wiese, who goes to 9 off 9 balls. In comes Waller again, over the wicket bowls, and Luke Wright pulls this one onto the leg side, and that's just going to be a single, and again fielded out there by Abel, who gets in the throw. One more to Luke Wright. He goes to 45, off 30 deliveries.
Yeah, it's a really good looking innings, this, isn't it, from Wrighty?
Yeah.
Really building something something that could get us up to a big score, I feel.
97 for 3. Waller again, he's in and bowls, and David Visa cuts firmly through the offside, only as far as Jerome Taylor, who's sweeping on the cover boundary. One more to the total. Throw comes into Stephen Davis. That's the end of the 11th over. And Sussex are 98 for 3. Luke Wright is on 45. David Visa is on 10. You're listening to live cricket on the BBC from BBC Sussex. Myself, Adrian Harms, alongside Bruce Talbot. And as I say, delighted that Ben Brown, the Sussex club skipper, is with us in the commentary box as well.
Yeah, we've just seen a shot of Mike Yardy, haven't we, Ben, who was captain here in 2009 when Sussex won the competition for the only time. What a great night that was. And against Somerset, obviously, in the final, if we remember, and a very, very conclusive victory in the end, wasn't it? I think Sussex won by about 50 runs.
Yeah, absolutely. It was comfortable in the end, wasn't it? But we're lucky to have someone like Yards around here, especially, I think, he's worked majority with the second team this year, and you think of some of the young lads coming through, the culture and the values Yards has, it's fantastic for them.
Well, this is it's absolutely ridiculous now. There are still people moving. The steward that was woken up a couple of minutes ago by the umpire is resumed his prone position. Not a lot going on to stop the batsman being distracted as Van der Merwe starts a new over, and David Visa plays him into the offside to deep cover for a single. 99 for 3. This is very, very frustrating and not very well organised, and it's been going on all through the competition, the day.
There's 4 stewards up there, isn't there? Who are doing absolutely nothing, really. Unbelievable.
Very frustrating for the players, I imagine, having to recompose themselves virtually after every ball because of movement behind the arm. Van der Merwe into right, who plays it in front of him, and Van der Merwe.
Some of the problem with things like these kind of events, they're hired out to companies to do the whole thing. So some of these security guards will never have done a cricket match, or they won't understand the game. Yeah. We've got another incident, beach ball again on top of the
watermelons blowing across again.
Yeah, but the stewards obviously don't understand the game.
Van der Merwe into bowl to Luke Wright, who plays him back down the pitch. Good ball from Van der Merwe. A little bit of spin there, and 1 or 2 balls gripping as well, Ben.
Yeah, I think it's probably good signs for us, to be honest. We're bowling second, got 2 spinners, got guys with good slower balls. So yeah, I don't think it's too bad a sign at all. We're in a good position here. 99
for 3 in the 12th over. But so far so good from Van der Merwe. He's bowled a decent over so far. Luke Wright faces this next delivery from the left arm spinner and plays out into the offside. They'll go for a run and they make it. Luke Wright was very quick between the wickets. Still at his relatively late stage of his career, he gets a shift on, and he judged that well. Brings up the Sussex 100 for 3, right on to 46. Visa on 11, and in the end, Wright made his ground fairly comfortably. Van der Merwe at the Birmingham end, bowling to David Visa, who gives himself room and plays it through the offside for 4 runs. Well played, David Visa. Just gave himself half a yard there, waited for it, and then played it in the gap between backward point and cover for 4. No one on the boundary in that position. A safe shot from David Visa and 4 runs.
Clever shot, wasn't it? Because they've just moved the cover sweeper right round extra cover, and David managed to wait for it a little bit longer and put it behind square for a 4. A handy boundary, that.
It was 104 for 3. Van der Merwe into bowl again to David Visa, and shorter, and Visa's gone long, and that's a big hit, and that's into the crowd for 6. What a terrific blow by David Visa. Too short from Van der Merwe, and David Visa said, "Thank you very much. Which part of Edgbaston am I going to deposit this ball?" And he put it over long on for 6.
Yeah, he's read him well there, hasn't he? He's got a bit wide on the ball before and thought, he's under pressure. He's probably going to bowl something different, and again, he's put him away fantastically. Great over that. Again, 2 boundaries against a bowler who should be hard to hit, so fantastic cricket from Sussex.
And 2 experienced batsmen in as well now. David Visa, we sometimes forget because he's obviously had a relatively short Sussex career. He's played a lot of first class and a lot of limited overs cricket, including cricket for his country in South Africa. There's not many scenarios in the game that he won't have encountered before, Ben.
Absolutely, and of course the IPL. I mean, you talk about high pressure cricket. That's huge pressure. So now he knows exactly what he's doing in this situation.
Partnership of 37 now between Luke Wright, who's on 46, and David Visa on 21. Sussex 110 for 3 as Overton is in. That's wide outside the off stump, and indeed that will be signalled a wide. And Luke Wright's quite happy about that as he wanders away towards square leg, just surveys the field. He'll say there's 3 men saving 1 on the offside. A short third man, a backward point and an extra cover. A short fine leg, the other 5 fielders scattered around the boundary. 3 on the leg side and 2 on the off. As the decibels in the crowd get a little louder. as Overton is in and bowls, and that's wide outside the off stump, and that'll do for Sussex, Ben. A couple
Yeah,
of wides.
nice. We've actually spoken about Overton. It's a tactic he's used throughout the competition. Every now and again, he'll just try and sling one just inside that wide line, just to try and disturb the batsman's rhythm. So he's obviously got 2 wrong there, so that puts him under pressure. He's beaten the wide line twice, so yeah, a couple extra bonus runs for Sussex.
He has a word to his skipper, Lewis Gregory, who's fielding just down below us at extra cover, and Overton runs away from us. Again, he's in and bowls, and Luke Wright pulls this high, wide and handsome. That's going to be 6 penn'orth. That's a great shot by Luke Wright. What a way to go to a half century as well for the Sussex skipper. He pulls that one away, he points to the badge on his shirt and raises his bat to Edgbaston. That's a terrific shot. And Luke Wright, well, we see the Sussex supporters over there.
You can see where they are now, can't you?
Yeah, we can see. What a way to go to your half century. Super shot by the Sussex skipper. He goes to 52 and Sussex to 118 for
Great
3.
50, isn't it? Great 50. He's led from the front here under huge pressure as captain. He's come out. He's done fantastically well, hasn't he?
Overton turns again, runs in and bowls, and that's that's a full toss. It's going to that's going to be. Well, it was a full toss, and it's gone away for 4 byes. And we'll wait for the penalty as well. There's all sorts of signals going on from the umpire. Overton, to be fair, signals towards Luke Wright and says, sorry about that, that slipped out. But nonetheless, he shows he's under pressure, Ben.
I'm not sure Wright is fussed about it, to be honest with you. He can bowl those all day long if he wants. How many do we get for that? Is it 5?
Well, I don't know.
5, 6?
What we do
Is
know...
it a free hit?
I don't think a free hit's been signalled, no.
No.
It should be.
There you go.
Yes,
it is. Yeah, it is a free hit.
I tell you, this is a great over for Sussex.
Brilliant.
124 for 3, and now a free hit. Overton, already 3 wides we think in this over, and a no ball, comes running into bowl to Luke Wright, who pulls that one away, and it's going to be 6 more. Yes, it is! All the way down to long on. What an over for Sussex, and what an over for Luke Wright. He goes to 58, and the Hollies stand in full voice. Luke Wright is going like a train here. Sussex 130 for 3, Luke Wright to 58.
Brilliant. How good is this? I'm watching our stand over there as well. Everyone's up and about. This is fantastic. What an over. This is a sort of over that can win you a game if we keep going.
Overton turns 130 for 3. Luke Wright on 58 of 36 deliveries. Overton in again, and Luke Wright's at it again, and he smashes the ball away, and that's 4 more over extra cover. And Luke Wright is in the groove here. He goes to 62 of 37, and Sussex are motoring here, Ben. 134 for 3, and we're in the 13th over.
This is brilliant. Look, just having a quick look at Overton's figures here. He's gone for 43 off 2.3 overs, and I think Wrighty's sensed in blood here, isn't he?
Well, tremendous shots, and Overton is rattled, as he should be. Luke Wright awaits. He's on 62. Overton is in bowls to Luke Wright, and he steers that one away through backward point. That could run away for 4 more. Jerome Taylor in hot pursuit. He won't get there. And Luke Wright picks up another boundary, and this is a monumental over. Unlucky 13 for Jamie Overton. Luke Wright won't care a jot about that. Sussex 138 for 3. Luke Wright goes to 66 off 38 deliveries.
This is some striking, isn't it? This is an exhibition. He actually, again, he used that tactic, went wider. Wrighty had the presence of mind just to let it come up all the way and steer it into a gap. Whilst his adrenaline's pumping with an over like this, that's huge experience and huge class.
And just seen a replay of that 6 that went over long on. It didn't get it wasn't out of the meat of the bat by any stretch, Ben, was it? It was off the top of the bat, but he still had enough to clear the fielder then. That's a big straight boundary here at Edgbaston.
This over has so far gone for 28.
And we've only had 4 legitimate balls.
Overton turns again, runs away from us, comes into bowl to Luke Wright, he smashes that through. Mid-off is going to go for 4 more. No, it's not. It's well fielded down below by Ronald van der Merwe. They're going to come back for a second. David Wiese runs his back in. 2 more.
That couldn't have been more than 5 yards to the left of long off, and he's done well to stop it going for 4, and they've run 2. That's how hard Wrighty's hit that.
I think that's 30 off the over. Luke Wright to 68 off 39 balls. The Sussex skipper just scratches away some dirt at the crease. And Sussex are in a great position here. 140 for 3, 7 overs to go after this one. Overton turns. Figures of 0 for 49, would you believe? The 50 partnership is up. Overton is in bowls, and Luke Wright just caresses that one away through the covers and picks up a single. I suspect that might well be the last we'll see of Jamie Overton today. I reckon that's 31 off the over. Massive over for Sussex. 141 for 3, Wright on 69, Wiese on 21, and during all that carnage, the 50 partnership up as well.
Yeah, well done you for noticing that. It's an extraordinary over, and I think look, are we talking 160, 170? It looks like we're blowing that out the water at the moment. So, you know, now we're looking at 200, maybe, you know, late 180s, 190s. So that's a fantastic over. Really has swung the momentum.
Any sympathy for the bowler there, Ben?
Zero. Overton lets you know when he's having a good day, so I'm not too fussed, to be honest.
What goes around comes around, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, it's going to be Max Waller after the excitement of that over, and from a Sussex point of view, what a fantastic over as well. Luke Wright in overdrive, and he's kept the strike by taking the single off the last ball of that Overton over. It's going to be Max Waller from the Birmingham men to bowl these all sorts of leg spin and seam up and what have you, and just knocked comfortably and easily into the leg side for a single. So Luke Wright can just get his breath here. He's on to 70. Right, and let's reassess what we're in the 14th over here. So Sussex in a terrific position, 142 for 3. We've still got 6 overs left. We were talking a few minutes ago about a score of 160, 170 be passed. Sussex get a lot more than that. As Visa comes down the track and clubs, for want of a better word, Max Waller into the leg side for a single. But Somerset, to me, not surprisingly after that last over, Ben, they just look a bit shell-shocked here, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually loved Wrighty's last ball. I was really intrigued to see if his adrenaline's pumping, would he go after Max? He just knocked a single. I'm really hoping he just keeps going here.
Let's hope so. Waller in again, and that's a little bit shorter and drilled down the down to long off by Luke Wright again. He's just taking a breather here, isn't he? He's had a big over. There's no need for histrionics or, you know, big hit in. Just keep things ticking over.
Showing his experience, isn't he? He's managed to calm his adrenaline down and just keep going.
Waller into Visa, who plays that into the leg side off an inside edge. There'll be a single down to Jerome Taylor at backward square leg. 145 for 3. Sussex in the 14th over, so 6 more overs after this to go. Sussex, well, at this rate will be, well, if Jamie Overton carries on, they'll be looking at 250, but I think 200 now is certainly within their realms as Waller turns. What's he got in for this next delivery to Luke Wright, who plays him from deep in the crease, or deepish in the crease, down to long on for a single again. Just milking the spinner here, making sure Sussex don't lose a wicket at this crucial juncture. Luke Wright, you feel, has done a lot of the hard work now, and can he really cash in and get that big score as Waller bowls to Visa, who comes down the pitch and hits him straight for 4. 2 bounces into the boundary boards, and a great finish to the over. David Visa, a couple of steps down the pitch, power, placement, straight as a die, 4 runs, end of the over, and Sussex have brought up their 150 in the 14th over. 150 for 3. Luke Wright on 72 and David Visa on 26.
More good cricket in that over, wasn't it? I'm delighted to see Wrighty. I think they would have felt that Waller was a threat there. You know, the last over of spin looked like it's easy to hit the seamers, and Wrighty just calmed himself down and milked the spinner and let David Visa take any risks that needed to be taken. So more good cricket from Sussex.
And a partnership now of 77 between these two. I'll have a check how many overs that's coming, but it's come very quickly. Lewis Gregory is going to come back into the attack for Somerset. Unsurprisingly, Jamie Overton having bowled 3 overs. Oh, here comes some. Who are these guys running down? What are they, bakers or something? Or they're chasing? Yeah. Some sort of a chase going on.
That's where your family are, Ben.
I wonder what my dad was up to.
Well, in comes Lewis Gregory, running into bowl to Luke Wright, who's on 72. He's in and bowls, and Wright pulls it away. Is that going to be another maximum? It is. It's gone high, wide, and handsome. Luke Wright pulling that one over long on. Another 6 for the Sussex skipper. He goes to 78 off 44. What an innings. 156 for 3. We've seen Luke Wright do this on so many occasions for Sussex, Ben, and he's just taking this attack apart.
Oh, this is brilliant. And what he's doing well, I was out there earlier, he's hitting with the wind here. There's quite a big breeze coming this way, so again, it's smart cricket. He's getting up into that breeze and it's travelling miles.
That's his 6-6.
Brilliant.
As in comes Lewis Gregory over the wicket bowl. Shot pulled away, and that's going to be a 7th 6. Yes, indeed it is. Pulls it backward of square, and Somerset don't know where to bowl to Luke Wright here. He goes to 84 off 45, and Sussex to 162 for 3, and Edgbaston is rocking.
This is raucous, isn't it? The crowd are going absolutely wild. Wrighty's playing an absolute blinder here for the boys. 84 or 45 balls, and he doesn't look like he's done, does it?
He doesn't. Well, Lewis Gregory came on to try and stem the flow of run. He's done anything but. Gregory in again, bowls, and Wright's at it again, thumps that down the ground. He's just going to get a single on this occasion. Fielded down below us by Van der Merwe. Luke Wright looks towards the sky.
Captain to captain, this, isn't it?
Wow.
He's coming for him.
Magnificent from Luke Wright. 13 off the over. 85 off 46 balls for the Sussex skipper, including 7 6s. Tremendous stuff. I remember him demolishing Essex at Chelmsford a few years ago. And this is a similar innings.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Gregory in over the wicket bowls. Cut away by David Visa. No respite for Lewis Gregory. No respite for Sussex. What Luke Wright can do, David Visa can do as he carves that one away over backward point for 4 more. Visa goes to 31 and Sussex to 167 for 3. Already 17 off this over.
Amazing. I'll tell you, whose idea was it to put Visa in? we didn't see it coming, did we?
I was looking at you, see if you were making a little gesture down towards the from our high vantage point here, Bren. But whoever made the decision, it was an absolute masterstroke.
This partnership now worth 94 as Gregory is in and bowls. And Visa clubs that one away. That's got miles and miles and miles. It's into the top tier of the stand. What a way to go to the 100 partnership for David Visa. He goes to 37 off 18 balls, 23 off the over so far. The 100 partnership, and Sussex are steaming. 173 for 3. We're only in the 15th over.
Yeah, well, I thought 170 was going to be about right. We can pull them out now. Oh, this is brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant hitting.
Well, we wondered about... I did a piece... I'll admit this to you now, but I did a bit on the BBC Somerset yesterday saying, what a Sussex, you know, what they got any weaknesses? I said, well, you never know quite about the batting if Laurie Evans doesn't come off. Eat your words, Adrian. In comes Gregory, bowls driven away by Visa. That's 4 more. Well, what an over for Sussex. 177 for 3. 27 runs have come off that over. Luke Wright is on 85 off 46. David Visa is on 41 off 19. I spoke to David Visa in the week up at Durham. He said how much he was looking forward to this. What an innings he's playing as well. A partnership of 104, and there are still... Is there still 5 overs to go?
5 overs to go, yeah. It's carnage, Ben. Absolute carnage out here.
I've just spotted, from all this distance out, Wellesley is in the crowd. Luke Wells. He is going absolutely berserk next to Abby Sakandi there. It's great. We've got full squad here today. Everyone will be absolutely loving this. What a show we're putting on. Whatever happens in the second half of the game, we've put on a hell of a show here with Righty and Visa. This is fantastic hitting.
Well, let's hope the next 5 overs are as entertaining as the last 5 and as productive for Sussex, because if they are, they're going to be looking at 230, I'd reckon, and that, you have to say, Sussex would have to bowl horrendously well. I'd have to be out there bowling for Sussex for them to lose from that position, Ben.
Maybe, or me. Yeah.
Or you, yeah. And I've seen you bowl.
Yeah. Well, look, the nice thing is a lot of chats have been about our bowling attack, so it looks like we're going to get a score over par. Hopefully, if the boys bowl well, we'll get home.
Well, the 100 came up in just 7.2 overs, the 100 partnership.
Brilliant.
I think this is Corey Anderson, actually, who's coming into bowl from the Birmingham end. They're trying anything to stem the flow here, Somerset, but that's more runs for Sussex, not 4 or 6 on this occasion, just a single. Luke Wright plays it into the leg side. He moves on to 86, and Sussex 178 for 3. Yeah, it is Anderson at the far end, isn't it? Bowling his seamers. I think the 7th bowler that Somerset have used. They really are running out of options. Everyone, well, no one really, has bowled with any sort of control for Somerset, but we're not worried about that because Sussex are doing really well here. Anderson and Visa's just a wide, surely. Well, he got a bat. It would have been if he hadn't got some bat on it. In the end, he sort of clubbed it out to the boundary for just a single. 179 for 3, Adrian.
Well, Somerset look really rattled, don't they?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Dizzy speaks to us a lot about our body language, and whatever happens, we expect to have good body language. I'm looking around and thinking that
flat.
Where's the inspiration coming from? Yeah, they look a little bit low, don't they?
179 for 3 as Corey Anderson comes into bowl to Wright, who hits him high and straight for 4. 6. Yeah, 6, I think.
Oh.
Or is it? I thought 4 initially, yeah. 1 bounce 4. Anyway, it was a gun barrel straight, back over the bowler's head, and 4 more to Luke Wright. Takes him into the 90s. He's on 90 not out off, look, the number of balls faced.
I think he's only placed 48
or 49 balls.
He's unstoppable in this mood, isn't he?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's anywhere they could bowl. They've tried short, they've tried wide, they've tried full, and at the moment he is absolutely smashing everything to the boundary.
Here comes someone else down the steps.
Well, someone's standing right in front of the side screen now.
Doing?
No, this is ridiculous. But anyway, Luke Wright settles on 90 not out. Corey Anderson up to the wicket from the Birmingham end, bowls to Wright and pulls him down to Jerome Taylor on the deep square leg boundary. Taylor trots in and returns the ball. Just a single, 91 for 3. Again, no need for Sussex. They are going to get 230, 240 without having to take any risk. What a terrific partnership, and what a thrill it is to watch this. I've seen many Luke Wright innings as you have, Ben. You've been a lot closer to the action than me over the years, and this is right up there.
As good as it gets, isn't it? In a final, how you
exactly,
can't do better
with the pressure on. as Anderson bowls to Visa, who pulls again, just short from Anderson, hits, sort of rears up off one of those used wickets here at Edgbaston, but through for a single. So just milking the runs here, keep things ticking over. We had a boundary already in the over, no need to take any risks, but these two at the moment look in supreme control of the situation. It's almost a case of, well, how many do Sussex want they can get here, because it doesn't look at the moment as if Somerset have got much of a clue as how they're going to get either of these out, as Anderson bowls wide outside the off stump. Luke Wright's disappointed he's missed out there, trying to skim that backward a point for 4. He bangs his bat against his pad. Free hit, but maybe a little bit of a gift there. He's not made too many mistakes, so we can't really reproach Luke too much. He's frustrated. We'll give him that one. He's frustrated, but what a position for Sussex with 4 overs to go. 185 for 3. David Visa on 42. Let's not underplay the role that he's performed in this partnership, Ben, and Luke Wright on 91.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. I looked up there, and Visa striking over 200 here, coming in, no power play to hit. Fielders all on the boundary to score at this strike rate on a pitch which is offering a bit of spin. Fantastic effort. Yeah,
I think as well with the pitches, it's sometimes difficult on these surfaces to come in. You can't just go blazing away straight away, can you?
I think you maybe from memory, maybe a runner ball 10 or 11, something like that. Yeah. So he had a look. And then from there, he's gone berserk as well. So we can't forget his role in this power play.
Sharp intake of breath as Adrian starts the next over. I think it's probably to do with some of the Somerset bowling figures, but we'll talk about that in a moment.
113 runs this partnership is worth as Taylor is in, bowls to David Visa, and he beats Visa. That's a rare occurrence in this innings, and the ball rattles through to Stephen Davis. 185 for 3, so still 3.5 overs to go. Luke Wright 91, David Visa 43. If you're just joining us, where have you been? Because this has been scintillating stuff from Edgbaston. The crowd are getting involved as well.
One thing, Ben, should they have brought Taylor back a bit earlier, do you think, to try and stem the flow?
Yeah, maybe. I was just thinking that. Most experienced bowlers got 2 wickets already. Yeah, they may be regretting that, actually.
I mean, look at his figures. 2 for 11. In comes Taylor bowls. Visa swings that one away. That's going to be 4 more runs. Back go to the square. It's swung away by David Visa. He goes to 47 of 23 balls, and Sussex to 189 for 3. These two coming together when Delray Rawlings was the last man out when the score was on 73. So an extraordinary partnership. I can't look up records in T20, but I'll tell you what, this isn't going to be far off for Sussex the way these two are playing.
No, definitely not. I mean, I can't think, especially in a big game, in a big finals day, for 2 experienced blokes to come out like this and play like this is brilliant, really. It's gold dust.
Taylor is back to his mark. Turns and runs away from us, coming into bowl to David Visa, who's on 47. He's in and bowls, and Visa smashes that down the ground to long off, fielded down below us by Roloff van der Merwe, who gets in the throw. That's some respite for Somerset, just conceding a single, and Sussex go to 190 for 3. And momentarily there's a pause at Edgbaston for everybody to catch their breath. Luke Wright on 91 off just 50 balls, 5 4s and 7 6s. It has been classic Luke Wright. He looks around the field. He'll know the job's not quite done yet. I don't think he'll be thinking about 100, but he'll just be thinking they want to carry this momentum forward, I'm sure, Ben.
Definitely. And look, he'll be in the back of his mind. He's 2 hits away the way he's playing at the moment, isn't he?
Taylor turns, comes in and bowls to Luke Wright. He's in and bowls, and Wright, he drives that one. I think he drove that into his foot to Luke Wright. The ball bounces away on the offside. He was looking to pull that one away from me. Every time it's a dot ball, he looks heavenward and say, I should have hit it for 6.
I think he tried to hit that back to Hove, didn't he? He has swung himself off his feet nearly literally there. So he just, he'll know, he's experienced, he'll know he's just got to keep his shape here, because he is clearing the boundary. Inside edges are going for 6 at the moment. So just got to keep his shape, keep his composure as he gets towards the end of the innings and towards 100.
Now there's a deep fine leg, there's a deep backward square, there's a deep mid wicket and a long on, so 4 men back on the onside. No one saving a single on that onside. The 4 men saving a single are all on the offside. As in comes Taylor, bowls to Luke Wright, pulls it away. Is it going to be caught? No, it's not, but he gets 1 out to deep mid wicket. I thought for a minute that was in the air a little too long. Nonetheless, Luke Wright goes to 92 off 52 deliveries, and Sussex to 191 for 3 as an inflatable banana gets thrown around the Eric Hollies stand away to our right-hand side.
Been a good over this, hasn't it, from Somerset's point of view? And as you said, Bruce, I think maybe they could have brought him back earlier. He's shown all his experience here. He's got his Yorkers in with the odd slower ball, and he's just managed to stem the tide. I know he went for a 4, but it's certainly not been the carnage we've seen from the other guys.
Taylor turns at the end of his run. David Wiese awaits. He's on 48, David Wiese, off just 24 balls. What a vital innings this has been from the South African. Taylor is in, bowls short, pulled away by Wiese to the fielder at deep mid-wicket, picks up a single, does David Wiese. He goes to 49. That's the end of Jerome Taylor's over. Well, he's emerged relatively unscathed as Jerome Taylor. 3 overs, 2 for 18. Still 3 overs to go, 192 for 3. What will Wrighty and David Wiese be saying here? Will they be saying, well, we need at least 10 and over off the last 3, Ben? How would these negotiations go?
I'm not sure they will, to be honest. I think they'll more perhaps talk about just keeping their shape. They're, hitting the ball so well. Sometimes you can start overhit in this scenario. So I think they'll more be talking about keep your shape. They don't need to set too many targets. I think they'll know they're way ahead of the game. So if they can keep their shape and just keep going here. Interesting one for Somerset there. I'd imagine they had a set plan, Jerome Taylor, to finish the innings with the 2 at the back, but I think that maybe looking back was a mistake.
Well, it's Corey Anderson to come into bowl. The 19th over from the Birmingham ending bowls, and Wiese plays out into the offside. There's a comfortable run there, and Sussex onto 193 for 3. Sorry, we're just into the 18th over. Got 2 overs left, and David Wiese lofts his bat in recognition of a 50, and a well-played innings by the South African off 25 balls, 5 4s and 2 6s. So he's kept up with Luke Wright, shot for shot, really. It's terrific strike rate, and what I just hope, and I know this won't be the case in the dugout in the Sussex dressing room, Ben, that innings won't be forgotten about if Sussex do get to the final. Played
Definitely
a terrific hand. Anderson into right, looking for his 100, and he blazes him down the ground. Is that going to be out? It is. It's caught it long off, and a brilliant innings by Luke Wright comes to an end on 92. Caught it long off by the man running in from the boundary. Looks like Max Waller down there has taken the catch. Decent catch in the end, but a terrific innings by Luke Wright. He touches gloves with Wiese as he heads off towards the pavilion. Salutes the Sussex fans in the crowd, and most of Edgbaston, you have to say, is rising to Luke Wright. He didn't get his 100, but his innings today of 92 has gone a long way, you feel, towards putting Sussex in the final. Terrific hand from Luke Wright. He lofts his bat towards all 4 corners of Edgbaston. A fantastic innings by the Sussex captain, leading from the front, Ben. Shame he didn't get his 100, but what an innings.
Yeah, gutted he didn't get his 100, but look at the scene here. Everyone's standing up to applaud him. It's an amazing innings. He's got fireworks going off. That is a fantastic hand from Wrighty. It could not have gone any better this first game.
I'll tell you what, Ben, I'm really, really pleased for Luke, because up at Lord's a couple of weeks ago, he got a bit of stick from a couple of people, didn't he? What a way that is to respond.
People forget quickly, don't they? Yeah, they do.
Tell me about it.
And the ups and downs of being a cricketer, a pair one week, here he is in front of 27,000 people, star of the show.
Yeah,
fantastic. That's
brilliant.
cricket in a nutshell.
They ran, changed ends there. So Wiese's on strike, and he pulls that one down backward to scare, fielded by Jerome Taylor just for a single. So it's Michael Burgess who's come in now to join David Wiese. 194 for 4. We've got 3 balls left of the 18th over, so still time for Sussex to push on to maybe 220, 230. A shame that Luke Wright maybe a little bit tiredness in that shot, Ben, perhaps.
Possibly. It's also that the wind's holding that end slightly, so he's got to really get a clean strike to get a 6 that way. But I guess it was the time of the innings where he could afford to throw the bat at everything. So, but it will be easier, I think, hitting back towards where we're sat.
And a selfless innings in many ways, because he could have easily just knocked it into the gaps and got his singles to get his 100, but he's still thinking about the team and trying to go for the big shots. As Burgess plays the first ball from Corey Anderson back down the pitch, and there is no run. 194 for 4.
How important David Wiese now, Ben? Just he's the man in. Michael Burgess has just walked out. How important David here, just to guide Michael through.
Definitely, and just settle the nerves. Everyone that comes in is going to be nervous, however much cricket you have or haven't played. It's a big occasion, so let's hope that Burgess can just get away this ball and just settle those nerves. He's on naught in a final.
It's 194 for 4. Corey Anderson's got that wicket of Luke Wright. Comes up to bowl to Burgess, who plays and misses outside off stump. Taken by wicketkeeper Steve Davis. 1 ball left of the over. Davis went to pick up the helmet. I think he thought the over had been completed.
I think he wishes it had. I think just interesting signs here. New batsman's come in. First 2 balls, maybe cutters, and they've gone straight across him. Not easy to start on.
No.
I really think with this sort of score on the board, you're going to pick up wickets, players coming high. I think it won't be that easy for the new batsmen coming in. So I think the score is definitely over par. If we can bowl well, we should defend it.
Anderson up to the wicket to bowl to Burgess, who plays that into the leg side, sort of twist the bat there, use of the wrist, roll of the wrist, and he's off the mark with a single. That ends the 18th over. Sussex 195 for 4. David Wiese on 54, Michael Burgess on 1. Fantastic innings by Luke Wright. 92 he got in the end, the Sussex captain, but he's gone a long way, as we've mentioned, towards putting his side hopefully in the final against Worcestershire later. And Ben, I guess in the fielding, you've been on the wrong end of these sort of days sometimes. Little things like that will lift the fielding side a smidgen, but you feel in terms of this innings that the damage has probably been done.
Yeah, definitely. They have to come back for it, Somerset, and we'll get a look into their mentality. They've been here a lot and lost finals as well, so they'll be thinking, hopefully it's not here we go again from their point of view. But look for Righty. There's tough days as cricketers. We mentioned earlier he's had a tough couple of run in the championship. People forget that very easily. Actually, then to come out playing innings like that, he deserves it. He's been working hard, and it's a fantastic innings. It really is for a captain to come and play like that in a finals day.
92 in 53 balls, 7 sixes, 5 fours. Jerome Taylor with the penultimate over comes in and bowls to Michael Burgess. Is he going to be caught? No, he's not. Plays it out to deep mid-wicket and picks up a single, does Burgess. So he goes to 2 off 4 deliveries. Sussex to 196 for 4. And that brings David Visa on to strike. He's on 51 off just 27 deliveries.
Not a bad result for Sussex, is it, really?
No, absolutely.
Michael tried to get the boundary, but if not, you get one. And obviously, the dangerous Visa is here, 51 of 27 balls. Anything could happen.
I wonder if Taylor's got a bit of cramp. He's just down in front of us, just flexing his hamstring, I think, as he turns just down below us, turns and runs away from us. Comes into bowl to David Visa. He's in and bowls, and Visa clubs that one away straight down the ground. Doesn't quite time it, nonetheless it's a single, and fielded by Max Waller, who comes in quickly to field. While more to Visa, he goes to 52 off 28 deliveries, and Sussex to 197 for 4, with 10 deliveries left of this Sussex innings here on BBC Sussex live cricket from Edgbaston. T20's final day. Again, Jerome Taylor is just flexing that left hamstring as he wanders down below us. He's been the pick of the Somerset bowlers, 2 for 20 so far. He's got 4 balls left to bowl as he runs away from us. He's in and bowls, and Burgess with a play and a miss outside of the off stump. The ball goes through to Stephen Davis.
Interesting, isn't it? It's just a tricky role for Michael here. Do you go for the boundary, or do you get a one and get Visa back on strike? And I'd imagine that's if Davis just wandering down now, whether to say just keep your shape. You don't have to whack it out of Edgbaston. Maybe a single will be a decent job here. And let David Visa take on the bowling.
Taylor wanders down below us.
Playing a lone hand here, isn't he, Jerome, with the ball, really?
Yep, 2 for 20 in his 3.5 overs so far. In comes Jerome Taylor running away from us. He's in and bowls, and that's short. So Michael Burgess again gets himself in a bit of a pickle there. I think he was caught in 2 minds there. In the end, he eventually tried to sort of paddle the ball past the keeper, Davis. But in the end, the ball ran through to Davis, and a bit of respite here for Somerset, but Sussex still going nicely, 197 for 4. Michael Burgess on 2.
Yeah, again, just looks a little unclear on the plan here, whether we're going to get a one or a boundary.
Yeah.
Be good to get David back on strike, I reckon.
Taylor's really struggling, Ben does down.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He's just lying down and he's just pulling the toe of his left foot up towards us, and he seems to be stretching that hamstring as he comes in again and bowls. And this time Burgess does go down the ground, but he's going to be caught at long on. Max Waller is underneath it, and that's a comfortable catch to Max Waller. And Michael Burgess' innings comes to an end. Having made 2 off 7 deliveries, the batsmen have crossed. So
yeah, I'm just looking down. I wonder whether it could be Joffer Archer, I reckon, now.
Yeah, 197 for 5. So just, I'm not saying the innings are stalled, but David Visa is at least on strike, and we'll look to see who comes out. And indeed, you're absolutely right. It's Joffer Archer who's going to come wandering out to join David Visa for the last 7 deliveries of this innings. And Jerome Taylor's figures, they're like a beacon, aren't they, for Somerset? 3 for 20, and he's only got 1 more ball to bowl.
I think it does show, though, there is enough here for the bowlers to stem the tide. There really is. I think slower balls will stick in. You see a new batsman came in there, and it just isn't as easy. It just isn't that easy to come out and strike it. But when you get momentum, like Luke Wright and David Visa, and high quality players as well, it can suddenly look a different surface. So if Sussex can take wickets through the innings, I really think this should be too many for Somerset if we bowl well.
I'll read you some of those Somerset bowling figures at the end of the over as in comes Taylor running away from us, comes in and bowls to David Visa, who swings high and wide. Is he going to be caught at backward point? Be a good catch. If he does get it, it's a good catch. And Jerome Taylor picks up his 4th wicket, and that's a very fine catch at backward point, running back over his shoulder. And Visa is on his way for an excellent innings of 52 of 28 deliveries, and Sussex are now 197 for 6. And Jerome Taylor finishes with 4 for 20, which in comparison to the rest of the Somerset figures, Jamie Overton 3 overs 0 for 50, Lewis Gregory 3 overs for 45, It's been a tremendous effort. But David Visa gets a good round of applause, and rightly so, particularly from those Sussex supporters away to our left-hand side. 197 for 6. I guess you have to have a bit of credit to Somerset, who fought back well here in the last couple of overs.
Yeah, they're a good side. You know, you don't beat good sides without them at some point coming back into the game and throwing a bit of a counter-attack themselves. So, no, that's what you expect, and we're still in a great position here to get over 200, and a couple of big hitting Barbados men at the crease.
Yeah, indeed. The last over of the Somerset innings. It's going to be... It's Lewis Gregory. Yeah, Lewis Gregory is going to, the skipper, the Somerset skipper, is going to finish things off here for his side. So a bit of a comeback by Somerset, but you have to say the horse has already bolted. I'm afraid from their point of view, they're going to be chasing over 200, which will be some ask here at Edgbaston on this tricky pitch as Gregory bowls the first ball of the last over, and it's played into the leg side. I think that's going to be a leg bye rather, and it is. So Chris Jordan has come in to join Jofra Archer, who just has a little look round, a prod of the wicket, an adjustment of his pads, and decides, right, what am I going to do here? What are my options with 5 balls to go? We've seen Jofra strike the ball really, really well in T20 cricket. He's got such a good eye. He can hit it a long, long way. 5 balls left. There's a big gap on the leg side, which he might be targeting as Gregory comes in to bowl to him, and he plays that into the leg side, but they're just going to be a single. They might run, think about 2 now. There's no point in risking it. Jordan's on strike. 4 balls to go. 199
swung hard enough there, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He wasn't going to die wondering.
I noticed Jerome Taylor is leaving the field, actually.
Yeah, I can see
down
that.
At the far end there, get a bit of treatment from the physio, the Somerset physio. 199 for 6. 4 balls of the Sussex innings remaining as Gregory turns at the Birmingham end. Right arm over the wicket, bowls and pulled. Is he going to be caught? He might be caught in the deep mid-wicket boundary. It's swirling around, it is. He's caught. Chris Jordan's gone now. 199 for 7. So Sussex have, well, not collapsed, but they've just lost some momentum since Luke Wright's dismissal. They've lost, since then, 4 wickets quite cheaply. You still feel the damage has been done, but that ball was hit high by Chris Jordan, but not with sufficient power to clear deep mid-wicket and caught on the boundary there. He goes 199 for 7, but Jofra Archer will be on strike for the last, well, certainly this 4th ball of the over.
Yeah, sorry, Ben, it was 192 for 3 at the end of the 17th.
You do sometimes see that, though, when these big totals are. I know you greedy, Ben, and we all are, and you want Sussex to get 230 or 240, but you can sometimes, as we've mentioned right from the outset here, I think when you come into bat straight away and you've got to score quickly, it's not that sort of pitch. You need to have time to assess your options and build your innings.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it's Gregory bowling to Jofra Archer, who digs out a Yorker off the inside edge down to backward square, and they'll take a single, and it brings Will Beer onto strike. Sussex's leading T20 wicket taker, a man who was in the team in 2009 alongside the aforementioned Luke Wright that beat Somerset in the final, and he's now on strike with 2 balls left of this Sussex innings. The 200 is up, 200 for 7 off 19.4 overs, so even I can work out that's 10 and over. That will take some getting on this pitch with Sussex's bowling options, you feel. 19.4 overs bowled. Lewis Gregory bowling to Will Beer up to the wicket, and Beer plays it into the leg side. They'll get 1 down to long leg, fielded down there by James Hildreth, who we haven't mentioned much, but he will be key to Somerset's hopes of chasing down this total. Quality batsman in all formats, really fine player. But Somerset's batsmen have got work to do here. 201 for 7. 1 ball left of the final over. Gregory has fought back well. He got some absolute tap earlier on, but he's bowled this last over well. The last ball, Archer gives himself room, plays it into the big gap on the leg side. They'll think about 2, and they're going to take 2, and
it's gone.
Yeah, they've gone.
Oh.
Well, we're going to see a replay of an umpire's call on that. Jofra Archer turned for a second. I think he probably hasn't made his ground. It's rather irrelevant, to be honest, whether it's 201 for 7 or 201 for 8. Archer's jogging back because he's going to have to get bowling in a minute. Looks like he's made it. Well, see he's well short. So the end of the innings, 201 for 7 from Sussex. Brilliant innings by Luke Wright of 92. A half century from David Visa. Ben, the boys will be happy with that, won't they?
Fantastic. I know we faltered a little bit at the end there, but actually, ironically, I think that shows actually how difficult it can be to strike for the new batsman. So I honestly still think 170 was maybe 180 was par. But I think we've shot well over par there, and it's really up to the bowlers now. We talk about our bowling attack a lot now. I think it's time they deliver, because the batsmen have put a fantastic score on the board, and particularly a skipper there. What an innings with David Visa there.
What are your plans now, Ben?
Well, I can stick around for a little bit longer, perhaps till the power play, and then get down and see the boys.
Till the end of the power play?
Yeah, does that sound good?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, well, I'll come with you and get a cup of tea. We'll let Johnny put the headphones on and come back for the power play, Ben. That'd be great.
And while we do that, I shall run through the card of this second semi-final in the Vitality T20 Blast. Sussex won the toss, and they amassed at the end 201 for 7 off their 20 overs. Phil Salt made 13, Luke Wright 92 off 53 balls, 5 fours and 7 sixes. Laurie Evans, by his high standards in the competition this year, just 8. Delray Rawlins, a brief but effective 18, and then a terrific partnership between Wright and David Visa for the 4th wicket. David Visa made 52, contributed 52 to that stand of 120 in 10 overs, 9.5 overs for that stand of 120 between Visa and Luke Wright. Visa made 52, Michael Burgess 2, Jafra Archer 3 not out, Jordan was out for a duck, Will Beer not out. The innings did fade away a little bit towards the end. Sussex were 193 for 3 when Luke Wright was out in the after 2 balls of the 18th over. They only managed to add another 8 runs to the score, but I think that's a terrific effort by Sussex. 202 for 7 after 20 overs, a run rate of 10.1 runs per over. And just to go through the bowling figures, Max Waller 4 overs, 1 for 35. Jerome Taylor excellent, 3 for 20 off his 4 overs. Jamie Overton not so excellent, 0 for 50 off 3. Lewis Gregory 1 for 49 from his 4. He fought back well at the end. Rolaf van der Merwe 0 for 31 off 3, and Corey Anderson 1 for 11 off 2. 203 to win for Somerset.
Jofra Archer is going to open up. So sometimes Danny Briggs opens, sometimes Jofra Archer. What will be the thinking behind this, Ben?
I think Righty really wanted to set the tone with it, the pace, high pace. Jofra hopefully can come steaming in here and get it right. We've actually had an honest chat. We don't think we've got the first 6 right, so hopefully we can get it right today. In
comes Jofra Archer, opening up the Sussex. Is that LBW? It's a huge appeal. Ben Brown's giving it out away to my right-hand side. It rapped Myberg on the pads. Well, it looked close, I have to say. The ball ran away down to 3rd man. I think it was beaten for pace, to be honest.
I'm interested to see it again, because Laurie was given one that on Hawkeye was going down the leg side, and that looked pretty close. I'm just looking at body language. They're looking a little bit disappointed, the Sussex guys, but not sure. Not easy to see up here. It was just so full, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And quick.
Yeah, and Righty was right, wasn't he? The high pace there, nearly blasting one out early. So, yeah, good to see Jofra steaming in here.
And Sussex with a slip in place as well, as Stephen Davis takes guard, the left-handed batsman, wicket-keeper for Somerset. Phil Salt in there at slip. There's a backward point, cover, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on. Short fine leg as in comes Archer and bowls, and Davis just plays that quietly into the covers. A good delivery by Jofra Archer, pitching the ball right up. He'll be wound up for today, won't he, Ben?
Yeah, he'll be revved up. They all will be. You see the body language already from the Sussex guys. They're obviously really buoyed by that first half. They're all lively in there. They're in Somerset's face. Looks like Salty's having a word, as he likes to. He's right in the contest, isn't he? He always is. So.
Does he have a word or two?
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, he loves it. But no, good signs early. We look up and about.
Archer runs away from us. He's in and bowls, and Davis plays that to mid-on. Chris Jordan comes running in. Can't do anything to prevent a single. And it's a second run of the Somerset innings here on BBC Sussex. Myself, Adrian Harms, alongside Bruce Talbot, who will shortly have a cup of tea brought down for him. And Ben Brown, the Sussex club skipper. Delighted to have Ben with us today in the commentary box. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. The weather looks set fair. And let's hope that Sussex have a further part to play in the final later on this evening. Jofra Archer, number 22 on his back, runs away off this relatively short run. He's in and bowls, and Myberg just plays this quietly to mid-wicket, fielded in there by Phil Salt, who'd come out of that slip position for the right hand. So changing tactics between the two batsmen, slip in place for one, not t'other.
Yep, Jofra Archer's angle will go across the left-hander, and it's probably just a feeling Stevie Davies, if he has a weakness sometimes early, he can just prod the ball outside his off-stump to slip. So I like the move from Righty. I think he'll recognise if we get wickets early here, the chase will almost be done. They need to get off to a flyer.
3 without loss as Jofra Archer comes in and bowls, and up on his toes is Davies. That was another quick delivery from Jofra Archer. Nothing much Stephen Davis could do about that, about defending it to backward point, where Danny Briggs, who's lightning quick. That backward point position, I always think, so key in one-day cricket, and Danny Briggs is so good in that area, Ben.
He's done fantastically well, hasn't he? He's got better and better at it.
Yeah.
You know, he's really learnt his trade. The last couple of years been so consistent. I mentioned to you off air, he's a captain stream, isn't he? You know, good fielder, just does his business with the ball, and it is so easy to manage.
Archer in again and bowls. Oh, is he going to be caught by Danny Briggs? He is caught by Danny Briggs! Well, we were just discussing Danny Briggs, and Jofra Archer gets the breakthrough in the very first over. Quick delivery. Davies looking to turn that one on the leg side. He got a leading edge. The ball ballooned to Danny Briggs, who took a good catch diving high to his left-hand side. What a start for Sussex.
Yeah, and well done you. Well said. You know, just talking about Danny Briggs there. Just had to backpedal, didn't he? I think he misjudged it and had to backpedal, took a good catch, and look, Righty's bang on there. You know, he talks about starting with Jofra Archer, set the tone. He's run in, he's bowled fast, and he's almost just bullied a wicket out there, hasn't he? Just with pace and bounce, and Stevie Davies is gone.
Well, talk about pace. Jofra Archer's getting it through rather nicely from a Sussex point of view, and now the Somerset batsmen have got to face Timal Mills, a left armer who, on his day, and I think he's probably got a little bit of wind behind him, Ben, here. It could be a fearsome proposition for these Somerset batsmen. But a terrific start by Sussex. They're Somerset chasing 203 to win. The first over's gone. They're 3 for 1. Davis is the man out. Johan Meyerberg's on strike, and the new batsman is the dangerous Peter Trigo, who we've seen in many T20s and against Sussex on more than one occasion take a game away from Sussex. But he's off strike at the moment as Timal Mills starts his second over from the Birmingham end. Up to the wicket to bowl to Meyerberg, who hits him through the offside for 4. A little bit of width there, and punished by the Somerset batsman. That's the first boundary of innings. Just short as well, Ben, and put away, as good batsmen will do off that sort of delivery. Yeah,
look, they've got a lot of threatening batsmen, are they? It's not going to be a comfortable one at any point for Sussex. You know, Trigo's come in. I think Meyerberg, Corey Anderson's a big threat down the order, so Sussex is going to have to keep picking up wickets, because Somerset will keep swinging. I think they'll keep coming. They really haven't got much option, have they? They've got to keep coming. If they're going to overhaul this total, chase 10 and over, they've got to keep at Sussex and put Sussex under pressure, as the Sussex batsmen, in particular Luke Wright and David Visa, did earlier on. So the second ball of the second over, left arm at considerable speed from Timal Mills, short, and passes outside off stump at shoulder height. Good delivery good response from Timal Mills there. Not much that Meyerberg could do. Just lets that one pass through. He makes a gesture to the umpires, if to say that's probably above shoulder height.
Yeah, he did, and I saw the two umpires glance at each other actually.
It's high pace, wasn't it? I mean, yes. The umpires are going to have to be as sharp as the players here to make sure they're reading these deliveries, because the tee's pace looks like it's up.
Yeah, he loves this big occasion, does Timal Mills. The big crowd, the atmosphere, and he's up to the wicket to bowl to Meyerberg, and that's a slower ball which Meyerberg plays nicely into the leg side. A dot ball there, 7 for 1.
I'm really hot, but I don't want to take off the lucky jumper.
No, you sit tight.
I'm roasting.
I tell you, our old coach, Mark Robinson, he would have been all over that. Right, he was the most superstitious coach I've ever had. If he heard you had a pink jumper, you'd be wearing it every day of the week.
Yeah, he liked his superstitions, did Robbo, didn't he, Ben? People
he did,
sitting in the right place.
He had us all with the legs up at 222 for whatever it was.
Timal Mills coming in to bowl to Meyerberg, who tees off. That's a good shot from Meyerberg, over long off for 4, wide of long off for 4. Couple of bounces into the rope. Dangerous hitter here. 11 for 1, Somerset.
Really dangerous player. I think it's his last year as a professional cricketer as well. So often these kind of guys are really dangerous. There's not a lot of pressure on him. You know, it's going to be a way for him to bow out today. So he's a danger here, especially in the power play. I think Somerset will feel they have to get ahead of the rate. I don't think this is going to get any easier to hit the ball. I think now's the best time to bat. So if we can contain or even pick up 2-3 in this power play, this is the crucial bit to get right for our bowling innings.
Mills turns. He's conceded 2 boundaries so far. Hop, skip and a jump at the start as he muscles in past the umpire, up to the wicket and bowl to Meyerberg, who's tucked up for room, but he still manages to deflect that down to Delray Rawlins at backward square leg on the boundary, but just a single there. 12 for 1, Somerset. They're chasing 203 to win and reach the final against Worcestershire a bit later on this evening at Edgbaston. A high cloud here, no sun at the moment. It's quite a cool afternoon, but for mid-September, I had a feeling a few weeks ago, I thought, God, I hope, so late. It's never been played as late as this before T20 finals. Now, I hope that the weather doesn't have an impact, but perfectly acceptable for conditions for playing in and for watching. There's a big crowd here at Edgbaston, and a few empty seats as people refuel, replenish their beer glasses, but it's a terrific occasion as Mills comes up to bowl to Peter Trigo. It's a slower ball, and Trigo just tickles it down to backward point. They think about a single. Myburgh says no thank you. Quick fielding in there by Danny Briggs, who took that catch in the first over. At the end of the second over, Somerset 12 for 1.
And we spoke, Ben, when we were up at Durham in the quarter-final a few weeks ago about getting out of an over without any further damage. And I guess that was very much the case then, really. 2 boundaries, but the last ball being a dot ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's committing to every ball of the over. It's so easy to get fried mentally. And we saw that a little bit with some of the Somerset guys there, particularly Overton perhaps. You can't give up on an over. You know, any ball in 2020 can change the game. And T did well to hold his composure there with Myburgh swinging. He ended up getting out the over, like you said. And we're still off to a great start. You know, 6 and over, got an early wicket. We're going well.
Jofra Archer 1 over 1 for 3 as he comes in and bowls to Peter Trigo, to Myburgh, plays it down the ground. Is it going to go for 4 runs? It is. It's just about got the legs straight down the ground from Myburgh. He goes to 15 off 8 deliveries. There was a match earlier on in the T20 campaign, I forget which of the group matches it was, when he scored very quickly, Johan Myburgh. As Ben's saying, he really is a dangerous customer at the top of the order.
Yeah, it kind of hits the ball in funny areas, doesn't he? Sort of gets the ball over extra cover, square of the wicket on the leg side. So I'd imagine he can be tricky to bowl to. And look, we've just got to hold our nerve here, because at any point one goes straight up and we're right on top here.
16 for 1 of Somerset as Jofra Archer turns and comes running into bowl to the right-handed Myburgh, who swings this away. That could go all the way for 6. It has gone all the way for 6. Swung away over mid-wicket by Johan Myburgh. He goes to 21 off 9 deliveries. I just noticed Jofra Archer just turning there towards Luke Wright. I don't know if he wants his square leg maybe a little bit more toward mid-wicket. We'll see, but good shot nonetheless. 22 for 1.
I think it's a great shot. I think Luke will just be saying there's nothing wrong with the ball. Sometimes people are allowed to play good shots in the power play. He took a big punt against Jofra there, swung across the ball, and look, he got hold of it. But I think if Jofra holds his length, holds his nerve, that can easily skid through him and bowl him. So it's just not to panic here, because the batters are allowed to play good shots.
Just a change in the field here. Phil Salt is just asking Luke Wright exactly where he wants to go. Got 2 men back on the leg side boundary now, as in comes Archer and bowls, and Myburgh plays that one to backward point where Rawlins is. He can get through. If he hits, he's out. Oh! Was a complete misunderstanding. The ball was played backward of square, so it was really for Peter Trigo's call. He called for a single. Myburgh set off really far too late. Rawlins hits, and Myburgh's gone.
Yeah, we just needed those bells to light up, didn't we? I thought he was gone for all money. I think it just bounced over the top. It didn't look far away at all. But yeah, there will be a little bit. We maybe get chances in the field here. They're obviously chasing a high total, a lot of pressure, so the fielders will get opportunities. 23 for 1. Myburgh on to 22. Peter Trigo is yet to score, as in comes Jofra Archer running away from us. Comes into bowl to Trigo. It's short, and Trigo just paddles that one into the onside. I think it came off the bat. We'll wait for the umpire signal. This time the throw does come in from Jofra Archer, who fielded the ball himself. And the bails came off. Those bails will illuminate as they fall off the stumps, and it's 1 to Peter Trigo. 24 for 1. 2 balls to go of this third over. Live cricket on BBC Sussex, live from Edgbaston on finals day. Be interesting to see what role Luke gives the spinners. I don't think Biro will bowl on the power play, but Danny Briggs may well do. But whether he's thinking hold them back to bowl later on in the innings when the ball's spinning, or if he wants to try and sneak one in the power play to get a wicket, I'm interested to see what his thoughts are. Archer is back to his mark and comes running in to bowl to the right-handed Myburgh. He's in, he swings that one away. He's going to be caught by Delray Rawlings, and that's the wicket. Was that a slow one, Ben? I think it might have been carved away by Myburgh, straight to Delray Rawlings in the cover, and that is a massive, massive wicket. And Somerset now in trouble. 24 for 2, 2 wickets for Jofra Archer. Yeah, clever bowling, wasn't it? Leg cutter. I think Myburgh thrives on pace on the ball, flying balls off square of the wicket. He took all the pace off that Jofra. Just stuck in the wicket, and it really actually lobbed up to Delray in the end, didn't it? So another big threat for Somerset's gone. James Hildreth comes in now. He'll be the guy that normally glues their innings together whilst guys swing around him. Whether or not he can afford to do that, who knows? 24 for 2, and Jofra Archer, that was a slow ball and really well bowled by Archer, but earlier in his I think in his first over he was clocked at over 94 miles an hour, Ben. And the thing about Jofra, and which continues to astound me the more I watch, how does he generate so much speed off a very languid run? And well, it's all in the shoulders, isn't it, I guess? I think so, yeah, and a whippy action. I don't really know, to be honest. There's times, especially in red ball cricket, where he just ambles in for 3 looseners, and all of a sudden he flies. I mean, should try keeping to it. You don't know which. Yeah, there's bruises all over those. Inspecting your hands. But especially with these guys, T and Joff, with the ability then to come down in pace at 70 mile an hour, makes it so difficult to hit.
Well, it's Jofra Archer looking for another wig here. James Hildreth on strike.
Comes in and bowls, and that's another rapid delivery that just goes searing past the end of Hildreth's nose. Well, take and bite, Michael Burgess. The end of the third over, and Sussex in a really great position here. 24 for 2 on Somerset. Trigo is on 1. James Hildreth yet to score.
Well, 8 and over so far, but Somerset need a bit more than that. They're chasing 203 to win. And Jofra Archer, we mentioned, terrific there. That slower ball. Timal Mills, we saw his slow ball earlier in the first. He bowls out really well out the back of the hand, doesn't he?
Yeah, so clever, so clever. It's really the drop-off in pace and not easy to detect, especially with Timal. It's so difficult to detect from his hand. It's really well disguised. So people often say set yourself for a slower ball, but when the other ball's coming out at 93 mile an hour, that's easier said than done.
It's Mills into bowl to Peter Trigo, who plays that into the offside, straight to Luke Wright, and who will feel pretty pleased with him is the way things are going at the moment here. 203 to win to Somerset. We think that's over par on this Edgbaston pitch. Earlier in the day, scores were 160. 180, 160 played in the other semi-final between Worcestershire and Lancashire. Seems a long time ago now, that semi-final. We're here very early watching some of that. Worcestershire got through, and they will play the winners of this semi in the final at 6:15 as Mills bowls down the leg side, a slow ball which Trigo tries to tickle and looks a bit sort of nonplussed there that he didn't really play much of a shot at all at the bend, did he?
I think actually he was hoping for a wide, but it actually crept over towards the offside. I mean, high pace makes people do different things, and sometimes you guys steaming in, your feet move almost without you telling them. And I think that's what happened to Peter Trigo there. He was actually further over, and it actually didn't miss leg stump by too far.
Mills again, that idiosyncratic way he starts at the top there, a little skip and a jump, and then he's in big muscly left arm bowls and pulled by Hildreth. Is that going to be cut off by Delray Rawlings? It is. He's misfield there. They'll go through for 2. They probably would have got 2 anyway. A little bit of a misfield there by Delray Rawlings down at deep backward square, running in from that boundary, but through for 2 runs. So Trigo on to 3 and Hildreth in strike now. 26 for 2 Somerset in the 4th over here at Edgbaston. Packed house in Birmingham this afternoon, and the crowd really loved that innings earlier on from Luke Wright. Everyone, I think, to a man in the crowd and woman, stood to applause. Fantastic 92 by the Sussex captain. He's put his side in a really strong position as Mills bowls to Hildreth, and that's a slower ball. Attempted a slow ball bouncer, which Hildreth dragged from well outside leg stump. He practices the shot now. I'm not sure what he was trying to play initially, but it sort of dribbled out to the leg side, fielded by Archer, who's inside the circle on the fine leg position, and 27 for 2. Trigo on 4. Hildreth yet to get off the mark.
Yeah, you see that slow ball really stuck it again, didn't it? It seemed to take an age to get to Peter Trigo, and it's going to be key throughout the day. As
Mills bowls to Hildreth and straight to the fielder at backward point, and there is no run. That's Laurie Evans out there.
Good bit of work that from Laurie Evans.
Yeah,
not easy. The ball bounced just on one of those practice wickets, didn't it? Just in front of him, so he did well to get 2 hands to that.
27 for 2. We'll ask about facing Jofra in the nets in a minute, Banks. I'd like a little bit of an insight, because Adrian's always said to me on commentary in earlier games, I'd love to have a go at Jofra in the nets. I wonder if you could arrange that.
Oh, for sure. Fire the big
before, I think people would pay to see that before the end of the season.
Just going to get you a cup of tea. That's cruel.
As Mills turns to bowl to Hildreth, and that's another slow ball bounce. It's tickled into the air, but just short of Jofra Archer. He was half interested there. Might have been a catch, not played with any sort of conviction by Hildreth. That's the good news from a Sussex point of view. End of the 4th over. Somerset are 27 for 2.
Yeah, just about that in the nets. The trouble with the nets, you haven't got the adrenaline you have in a match. So when someone's steaming in, at 90 mile an hour, you don't get any runs for it. You don't get any reward for it. So you start to think, well,
you just get
I wouldn't mind coming out alive. Yeah, Doff's actually hit me in the head a couple of times, which he's absolutely delighted with each time. I actually threw to him in the nets yesterday, just helping out at training. He ran down the wicket and thrashed it back straight into my forearm. So there seems to be no avoiding Jofra Archer doing damage. But,
even to his teammates.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I guess if it's net practice, you think, oh, well, that's Jofra gone, and then it's Timal.
Yeah.
And then a bit of respite with Chris Jordan.
It's an exciting attack, though, isn't it? I mean, to watch high pace is just so exciting. And yeah, Geordie's no slouch either, is he?
27 for 2 are Somerset, needing 203. And that looks a long way off at the moment as Chris Jordan starts the 5th over of this Somerset innings, coming running into bowl to Peter Trigo. He's in and bowls, and Trigo places a terrific bit of fielding by Danny Briggs, who loses his sunglasses, but he won't care too much about that. A lovely diving stop away to his left-hand side. Prevented a boundary as well.
Just an unsung hero of this team, Danny Briggs. You know, myself and Righty, we make sure as much as we can in the media talk about Briggsley, because I just don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
Well, I agree, and in the Championship as well, Ben, as you say, you know, he's made runs this season as night watchman, vital runs as well at vital times.
Yeah, and you know, he just gets on with his job. Excellent bowl. I think he's gone at 7 and over in this competition. And he often bowls in the power play.
Yeah, he has,
brilliant effort, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jordan comes into bowl to James Hildreth, who's yet to score. He's in and bowls, and Hildreth pulls that one away and needs to get 4 runs. It's a bit of an ugly shot, to be honest. Nonetheless, he gets the one away through mid-wicket for 4 runs. It's his first runs, and Somerset go to 32 for 2, and a welcome boundary for Somerset.
Just looking at that required rate there, it's just snuck up towards 11, hasn't it? And I'm sure the Sussex fielders will keep reminding the batsmen, you know, get it up 11 and a half, 12. You know, once you start to get to 2 a ball, it's a hugely difficult ask. The Somerset really have got to go from now.
Jordan is back to his mark, 32 for 2, as Ben was saying. Chris Jordan, number 8 on his back in his blue shirt, runs away from us, comes in and bowls, and it's played away to mid-off. Oh, I thought that was going to carry to Jofra Archer, who's just on the edge of the circle and a wideish mid-off. It didn't quite carry as far as Jofra Archer, who was running away to his left-hand side. Wasn't really very well timed by Hildreth at all. He goes to 5 off 5 deliveries, and Somerset to 33 for 2. They're having trouble getting the ball away here.
Again, yeah, like we spoke about in the first innings, it just hasn't looked easy for new batters to walk out and just smash it out the ground. And perhaps maybe the brand new ball, you know, that looked easier in the power play, but now the guys are taking pace off the ball. It looks a really tough ask, this.
Jordan comes into bowl to Trigo. There's a slower delivery driven down the ground. It should be caught. It is caught! And that's another big wicket for Sussex. It was a full toss. Peter Trigo's absolutely forlorn at the striker's end. David Visa, big man, big catch, low down, and now Somerset are in real trouble. 33 for 3.
We were just talking about the ball sticking in the wicket, and he gets the wicket with a full toss. He moved well, didn't he, Dave Visa? The big man, he moved well. And look, it's, every time you get one of these Somerset wickets, you feel like it's a huge threat gone. You know, Trigo hits the ball miles. So I'm interested. Abel's come in early. Not the biggest hitter in their team. It's probably quite a similar player to James Hildreth. So I'm intrigued to see how they go here. Who's going to take the aggressive role, because they really don't have time to rebuild innings. I think they've just got to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess in terms of if they're trying to, I don't know whether in T20, you know, you would target a particular bowler, but I mean, who would you target in this Sussex innings? I mean, because Jordan, Mills, and Archer have all been very economic so far.
Well, it's one of the reasons I've been so impressed with Danny Briggs. You're looking at the attack, and you go, well, we're going to have to take on the left-arm spinner. And every single time, no one seems to be able to do it. And the same with Jordan. Jordan's an international bowler, and guys will probably go, well, we might have to take him on. And obviously, you're going to get wickets as a result of it, because you know, none of these guys are mugs.
33 for 3 in the 5th over as Jordan comes running in and bowls, strikes. Well, he's going to get a single to mid off. I thought for a minute it struck him on the pad. Jofra Archer gets in the throw, but never in any danger of a run out.
I think that's the beauty of the bowling attack, isn't it? You know, once you get to sort of all 5 of those front bowlers, or 6 really, you know, bowling, you've got international bowler coming here in Geordie, and we're sort of sat here going, oh, they might target him. Well, it's just not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
And same when Briggsley comes in, Biro's our leading wicket taker in 2020. So there isn't an obvious one to go for, and hopefully that'll serve us well.
34 for 3 are Somerset in this, the 5th over, needing 203 to win. In comes Jordan, bowls, and doesn't time that again, does James Hildreth. Chris Jordan fields off his own bowling. Good over by Chris Jordan, costing just 7 runs, and after 5 overs here, just 1 more over to go in the power play. You have to say Somerset in all sorts of trouble. 34 for 3.
Yeah, Sussex in a strong position. Ben, just want to pick up on something you said about Danny Briggs. He's such a good, honest pro, good cricketer, and I think because he's so unassuming as a person, you know, he doesn't, you know, he's not got a big media profile, doesn't put himself out there that much. That I don't know, maybe if he did have a bit more of that, he would be still considered, you know, potentially an England bowler, because he's such a master of his craft.
I hope so, and I don't understand any reason why he shouldn't. You know, I think perhaps the media drives a lot of selections now, and that's wrong, because you look at Danny Briggs' numbers, calm, composed under pressure, And I think any captain would love to have him in the side. He is a dream to captain. He's one of these guys, when his overs start to run out in limited overs cricket, you start to think, blimey, I've got to go somewhere else.
Got to fiddle a couple of overs
exactly,
from,
and he's so reliable.
David Wieser's going to start a new for his first over from the Birmingham end, and that first delivery is played by Tom Abel into the offside. No run at the moment. You have to say Somerset going nowhere. 34 for 3 in the 6th over, chasing 203 to win. It's a tall ask from here, and that required rate nudges ever closer to 12 and over. As Ben mentioned, 2 runs per ball. That is very, very difficult. In comes Wieser again and bowl, and Abel plays his side into the leg side. Will Beerfield's at mid-on. They'll go through for a single, 35 for 3.
Again here, we've got another bowling change, and perhaps from Somerset's point of view, think, well, we will have to take on David Wieser. A, they're not in a great position to do it, but secondly, David's got international experience as well, so it doesn't appear we have too many weak links in this bowling attack, and Will Beer and Danny Briggs are going to be on in a minute with a ball that's probably going to be spinning, so good signs.
Wieser in to bowl, and Hildreth takes a step down the pitch, a couple of steps in fact, hits it over the top for 4. Straight, good shot by Hildreth. He's a good player, just slightly short there from David Wieser, and Hildreth takes full toll. Down the pitch, couple of steps, and 1 bounce into the rope for 4. 39 for 3. Hildreth moves on to 9. Abel is on 2.
You're going to have to keep swinging, aren't they? I mean, Hildreth's come out there. It's one of his favourite ways to go about it, is to use his feet and hit down the ground. So it was an excellent shot.
Wieser again into Hildreth. Again, the same sort of shot, but a bit shorter. More bounce there for Wieser, and he sort of helped it on its way into the big gaps in the leg side. Delray Rawlins comes in. Just a single there to Hildreth. 40 for 3 Somerset. So 3 more balls left of this Somerset power play.
He read him well there, didn't he? Looking to get the same shot there, and Davey just dug it in a little bit shorter, a little bit higher, and ended up nearly actually scooping it all the way out to mid-wicket. Clever
bowling that, and really good to do that in such a split second, isn't it? To make that your mind up to change your length as Wieser bowls, and Hildreth waits, plays it to backward point. The aforementioned Danny Briggs fields, but they've gone through for a single, and they've got to do that now. They've got to run, they've got to take risks. If they're going to get anywhere near this Sussex total, there's no point. You've got dying wondering here from a Somerset point of view. They've got to keep coming hard. 41 for 3.
Still got Corey Anderson in the shed. I think that's a big threat. He's one of those guys that can really play incredible innings.
And Overton and Gregory down the order as well as Wieser bowls, and dug out short of a length and gone for 4. Just a despairing dive there by Will Beer at mid-on. The ball just beat his dive, unfortunately. He's gone to the boundary. So the end of the over, first over from Wieser, 45 for 3 Somerset at the end of the power play. Hildreth on 14 and Tom Abel on 3. And go on.
I'm just going to say, I think Ben's going to go back and join the team. Ben, thanks for joining us, and we're going to keep everything crossed. And would you come up and join us in the final if they get it?
Sure. Yeah, let's not talk about it yet. But been a pleasure. Enjoyed it.
Wonderful.
Cheers.
Thanks very much. That's the Sussex skipper Ben Brown. Really grateful for Ben coming up and joining us. And Ben's going to go back down and join the Sussex team down on the bench down below us. And Ben leaves us with Sussex in a great position here, Bruce.
Well, I hope he's not jinxed it by leaving us.
Yeah,
exactly. John will have to send Johnny down to drag him back up here. We're going to see spin.
Yeah, and it's going to be David Wieser who's going to come in.
Danny Briggs, in fact.
Sorry, David Wieser. Yeah, Danny Briggs. I'm getting excited myself. And Ben was saying at some stage, Somerset are really going to have to go for this. Well, let's see what happens. Tom Abel is taking strike. He's got 3 to his name as in comes Briggs around the wicket into bowl to Abel, who drives straight to Luke Wright, who makes a very fine stop there in its short extra cover, and there is no run. Somerset needing 203 to win, so another 158 they need in 14 overs as in comes Briggs again and bowls, and cut away this time by Abel. He just gets a single to Joffre Archer, who's sweeping on the cover boundary. Total goes up to 46 for 3. 157 needed to win. It's getting a little gloomy here at Edgbaston, but no threat of rain. The clouds are pretty high as Briggs is in again. Around the wicket bowls and beats Hildreth, who was looking to pull that one away on the leg side. Beats him outside of the leg stump. A good over so far from Danny Briggs, just costing the 1 run so far.
Well, he's doing his job, isn't he? He does what it says on the tin. Terrific economy rate and accuracy.
Briggs in again, bowls and driven straight down the ground by Hildreth, but it's just a single fielded by Chris Jordan down below, so he gets in the throw, and Sussex will be quite happy about this. 2 runs off of the over, 47 for 3. And Danny Briggs very quickly back to his mark. He's in again. Bowls, and Abel tucks this one around the corner. It's just a single to Mal Mills, makes a good sliding stop there at Short fine leg, just one more to the total, 48 for 3. And Danny Briggs, who just rattles through his overs. He wants a change in the field here. Luke Wright is going to the edge of the 30-yard circle at extra cover. 3 men back on the leg side. And Briggs is in again and bowls. And is he going to be caught? He is going to be... Oh, has he dropped it? No, he has caught it. David Visa has caught James Hildreth eventually. That was a juggling catch. At backward point, short third man. That would have been embarrassing if he dropped that, because that just... Well... It always went to him so slowly. Anyway, David Visa has got the catch. Danny Briggs gets a wicket in his first over. Hildreth is on his way. And Somerset are in a dreadful mess. We're just watching the replay, actually. He very nearly put that down, David Visa. But Somerset 48 for 4 after 7 overs. And Sussex in a great position.
Well,
he's got a long way to go down, hasn't he?
He has to be fair. He's a big unit, David Visa.
Yeah.
But, that's a great wicket for Sussex to get, because Hildreth is capable, more than capable, and the next man swinging his bat around in shoulders, getting himself warmed up, is Corey Anderson, number 78 on his back. 48 for 4, Somerset chasing 203 to win. We're 4:30 on a Saturday afternoon in Birmingham. Quite a breeze now. I can see the Warwickshire, the Bear and Ragged Star
I don't know if you
flag.
can notice, chaps, is that the Sussex flag there? See the blue one on the right hand side. You can barely see it, but you can see that the wind is forcing it straight away from us, can't you?
From the southwest, there's a strong breeze from the southwest blowing in over our... well, if we were outside, it'd be blowing over our shoulders, but we're not. We're in a hermetically sealed box high up here at Edgbaston. Not a lot of air.
That's why Arms is about to explode, I think, with the heat.
Will Beer's going to bowl from the Birmingham end, and he bowls the first delivery to Tom Abel, who plays it into the leg side. They think about 2. Not a great bit of fielding there by, looks like Chris Jordan. He actually overbalanced as he picked the ball up and made a bit of a song and dance of that. Anyway, they just kept it to a single, 49 for 4. And Anderson, the dangerous Corey Anderson, who I think got runs against Sussex at home.
Yes.
A match-winning hand down the order earlier in the tournament. That seems a long time ago, middle of August. It's only 1 month back, but we've had a lot of cricket since then. 49 for 4. Sussex lost that day, and you thought at the time, it's going to be a struggle to get to the knockout stages, and here we are a month later on top in the semi-final here at Edgbaston in the Vitality T20 Blast. Will Beer up to the wicket to bowl to Anderson. Not a particularly good-looking shot from Anderson. He sort of shoveled it up to long on. They took a single. 50 up for Somerset in the 8th over. 50 for 4, but they're a long way from Sussex's the target here of 203. Sussex made 202 for 8 earlier on. If you missed out, we'll go through that a bit later as Will Beer bowls rather, and played off the back foot by Abel for a single. But this is what Sussex want, just ticking. Somerset aren't hitting the big shots, and when they try to, invariably, because of the wicket and the accuracy of the bowling, they're going to get themselves out.
Well, the run rate is creeping up now. It's over 13 and over, I think, now. So it's Sussex are in a great position here.
There would have to be a monumental collapse here by Sussex for them to lose this game. They are in a strong position. I know, let's not count our chickens, etc., etc. But all things considered, it will be a Sussex-Worcestershire final later on tonight, as Will Beer comes in to bowl to Anderson, who drives him down to long on, and fielded down there by Chris Jordan for just a single, 52 for 4. So Somerset can't do much more at the moment than just keep things ticking over. Beer and Briggs, as they've done so often for Sussex, are applying a stranglehold on the opposition batsman. It's Abel in strike now on 7 as Will Beer, the leg spinner, comes in from the Birmingham end. Couple of paces, bowls, and Anderson gives himself room, but again he's only restricted to a single down to Delray Rawlins at long on. 53 for 4. And I guess the measure of how the game is going, there's a lot more empty seats now at the moment. I think one or two of the neutrals have seen, well, this is all Sussex are on their way to victory. This is the time to go and get a drink or something, as Beer bowls. Fuller and straight hit down to long on by Anderson for a single. Another single. So I think 6 singles in this over. First over from Will Beer ends with Somerset 54 for 4. We've had 8 overs here at Edgbaston. Abel on 8 and Anderson on 3.
Just to let our listeners know, good news as well coming down from Crawley Town. They lead Morecambe by 2-0 in League Two. The manager, Gabriel Cioffi, though, has been given a yellow card for celebrating one of the goals, running down to celebrate with his players. So turning to the new Jose Mourinho there to a bit of dramatic Italian flair arriving at the Broadfield Stadium. But they lead by 2-0, just about 10 minutes left of that one. Bournemouth leading Leicester still by 3-0. Chelsea 2-1 up against Cardiff, and Crystal Palace leading Huddersfield by a goal to nil. Man City 3-0 up against Fulham, and currently Newcastle 0, Arsenal 2. Watford Man United at 5:30.
Danny Briggs coming running in around the wicket, comes into bowler Corey Anderson, who plays this quietly down to long on, picks up another single. He goes to 4, the total 56 of 4. I blame the Crawley press officer, to be honest, for not telling the manager what the etiquette is.
I had to throw that in.
Who is he?
I don't know. He's not at the Broadfield Stadium today.
Well, it's nice to see a bit of passion. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
It was a great win against Lincoln last week, but just put fun and frolics down on the boundary ropes down there.
Yeah, so just a bit of slight delay. Don't know what the umpires were looking to do there. Anyway, in comes Danny Briggs around the wicket, comes in and bowls to Abel, who pulls this away. Well, that's going to be a maximum. Pulled away, high, wide and handsome, over square leg for 6 runs. Well, they're going to need a bit more of that, Somerset, if they can get anywhere near this Sussex total. That goes to 61 for 4. Abel goes to 14. And the Somerset supporters, who have been pretty quiet so far, have got something to cheer.
Yeah, hit with the wind there, didn't he? It was a good shot by Abel. Rare blemish by Danny Briggs, just slightly short, and he picked up on it very, very quickly, and it went with the wind into the crowd.
In comes Briggs again. Around the wicket in and bowled. Reverse swept this time by Abel. He's going to get more runs. He might well get 4 runs, actually. David Visa is after. He won't catch it. That's a good shot by Abel, to be fair. Just reverse swept wide of David Visa. You can't do anything about that. 4 more to Abel. He goes to 18, and Somerset to 65 for 4. So 10 off the last couple of deliveries from Danny Briggs. We were talking about, Ben was saying he rarely gets ruffled. Well, he doesn't get ruffled, does Danny Briggs. It was a good shot by Abel. In comes Briggs again and bowls, and over extra cover this time goes Abel. That's a very fine shot. Is it going to go for 4 runs? It is going to go for a fine shot. Nothing wrong with that. Inside out, used his feet, over extra cover. The ball raced away past Chris Jordan for 4 more. Abel goes to 22 and Somerset to 69 for 4. And this is the best over for Somerset by some way. 3 boundaries in the over so far. As Briggs back to his mark. Is in again and bowls, and Abel pulls that one away, but he's going to be caught down at deep mid-wicket. I think that's Laurie Evans underneath it. Oh, is it been caught? I think it's been caught by Phil Salt. It was a brilliant bit of fielding by Laurie Evans, who palmed the ball back in, and it was Phil Salt who was running back who completed the catch. Laurie Evans isn't sure. He's holding his hands out as if to say, I'm not sure whether it's out or not. I suspect we will have a review of that, and I think the batsman is quite entitled to wait, to be honest, because Laurie Evans wasn't sure.
I think his left foot, where it was very, very close, and he's not quite sure because he's tossed it back in to give it to Salt.
Yes.
So I think they're just going to have a double check, really. Most of it had been done right. Just maybe his left foot may have touched the boundary.
I think that's the right decision, Johnny, to have a look. And I think the batsman is quite within his rights to wait for that. He's just wandering back, Tom Abel, just to see.
And I think the reaction of Laurie Evans tells you a lot.
Yes.
Because I think it was a clean catch by Salt. He thought that part was fine. His left, does it touch? Well, it's difficult to see from that angle on the replay there. But has he got... No, I think he might have touched that before he gets rid of the ball.
But it was a terrific bit of fielding, but...
Well, they probably need a different angle, don't they?
Yes, they do. They need almost like a ground floor angle. Right. I suspect he's going to be given not out.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, the batsmen are back in
position.
In
this game?
And Chris Jordan pulled, he gestured to Abel as he was walking off. Hold on a minute, come back. We're not sure about that. Laurie Evans, his first reaction was, I'm not sure. It's gone for 6.
Yeah, 6 runs. Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's when technology comes into play, doesn't it? Everybody applauds.
And huge credit to Laurie Evans to point out the fact that he wasn't sure and thought that he may well have touched the boundary rope.
Absolutely. 75 for 4, Abel to 28. In comes Briggs again, and that's driven. This an expensive over now. It's driven through backward point for 4 runs. So that's 16 plus 6. I think that's 22 off the over. So an expensive over from Danny Briggs, and a big over for Somerset. They're 32 to Tom Abel off just 15 deliveries. Corey Anderson on 4 off 4. and Somerset 79 for 4. 11 overs remaining. They still need 124, but a glimmer of hope for Somerset. That was a big over.
It was premeditated by Abel. He took on Danny Briggs and he took him on well. A couple of sixes, 3 4s, good over for Somerset. They'll need a few more of those. We're nearly halfway through the innings. 79 for 4. And it's going to be Corey Anderson who's got 4 runs off 4 balls. Will Beer's going to continue. It'll be interesting to see actually what happens next over, whether they'll go back to pace, because they've got the get out with the 6 bowler used in Visa, so Briggs doesn't necessarily have to bowl himself out. It's Will Beer bowling from the Birmingham end to Anderson, and Anderson's down the pitch and clubs him towards long on. They'll just run through for a single. No point in taking on a risky second. Back to Beer, who fields, and 80 for 4 is the score. Abel is into strike on 38. And a really productive over that was. Sorry, on 32. Tom Abel.
Yeah, 3 4s, 2 6s.
As Beer comes in to bowl and gives himself room, Abel, this time. It's a good shot. It's going to be cut off on the boundary by Laurie Evans. He shovels it back in and it's fielded on the relay by Danny Briggs. Laurie Evans doing the work in front of the Hollies stand there. That's a bit lively at the moment. Interesting place to field. But just a single there to Somerset. 82 for 4. So hope here for Somerset. They're chasing 203 to win. 82 for 4. And we're in the 10th over. So we'll be halfway through in a moment as Will Beer comes in to bowl to Abel. Gives himself room. Steers it towards backward point. A misfield by Danny Briggs. But they're through anyway for a single. So better over here from a Sussex point of view. Will Beer is applying some control. Just 3 singles off the over so far.
No need to panic, is there?
No.
You're still in the box seat. You're in it. They're constantly going to have to. They'll still be behind where Sussex were at this stage.
Absolutely, and Sussex would still have those big overs to come in the second half of their innings as Will Beer bowls flatter and shorter and clubbed away towards the leg side, but in the end it comes off the pad, I think, and just dribbles out towards short square and fielded by Danny Briggs just for a single. 84 for 4. Good stuff from Will Beer. He's really pegged things back.
I think he just pushed that one through a bit, Bruce.
He did. Bowl a quicker ball. He's a very clever bowler, Will Beer. Very experienced in this format. He knows what he's doing and he won't be fazed by the occasion. He comes in with a reverse hit. Ugly shot that from Tom Abel. Not really in control of it. Just dribbles down to David Visa, who's inside the circle at fine leg. No run off that delivery, but that's the sort of shot that Somerset in their position have got to pay. They've got to play the high risk. They've got to go for it. They've got no option now. All guns blazing. If we lose, we lose. We don't die wondering if you in this semi-final. Beer into bowl. Another attempt at a reverse sweep, and this time it's fielded superbly by Danny Briggs. What great work there by Briggs, diving to his left because that ball was travelling, and if Briggs hadn't been able to intercept it just inside the circle, then it would have gone for 4. As it was, just a single. And halfway through, Somerset 85 for 4. The target is 203, so another 117 to win off 10 overs.
I feel like the scorer today. 91 for 3 Sussex were at this stage. So
that's interesting, Johnny.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
I know there were some big overs still to come from Luke Wright at this stage, but these two forging quite a decent partnership here.
And as we suspected, Danny Briggs out of the attack, Adrian, and it's going to be Chris Jordan from the pavilion end.
I'm just looking at the fans in the Hollies stand. I mean, they just have the day of the year in there.
There's a guy with a huge Sharks hat on. I do not know how he can see anything, to be honest. It's right over the top of his head. It looks like it's plastic. It must be absolutely sweltering under there, but certainly looks like he's enjoying himself.
They're having a great time in there. In comes Chris Jordan, bowls to Tom Abel. Sounds like a football ground, doesn't it? And they're gonna. Is that a leg bye? Just wait for the umpire. Yes, indeed, it's a leg bye. 85 for 4. If you've never been to finals day and you're listening at home, well, it might not be worth just sending off an application and getting some tickets, because it really is a special day. It's a great atmosphere. If you're a cricket connoisseur, probably best not to sit in the Eric Hollies stand. But it's just.
But what it shows to me, Adrian, is T20 is in great health at the moment. The attendances are up. Everyone's talking about this 100-ball competition. What's wrong with this one?
Why do we need it?
Well, it's just magnificent, it is. I mean, we're obviously pleased because Sussex are doing well, but even if they weren't, it's just a wonderful day, isn't it? It really is. So, Anderson, now I think he's the day. At some stage, Corey Anderson is going to have to go here. 12 and over is what's required for Somerset, and this man is capable of that. In comes Jordan, bowls, and Anderson thrashes that one away down to long on. They've taken one. David Visa is quickly round. Does well, does David Visa. Prevents it going for 4, but it's 2 to Anderson. He goes to 8, and Somerset to 88 for 4, still needing 115 to win here. On BBC Sussex, myself, Adrian Harms, alongside Bruce Talbot and Johnny Cantor, we have got, well, pretty much the best view in the house, really, looking directly down the ground. And Edgbaston looks magnificent. Packed house. Jordan back to his mark in his second over. Comes in and bowls, and Anderson, well, he doesn't time that at all, plays it straight down the ground. It's just a single fielded down beneath us by Delray Rawlings. Tom Abel was keen to come back for a second, but it was never there. One more to Anderson. He goes to 9 off 8. He's not quite timing it, Bruce.
No, he isn't, and that's because Jordan has just eased back a bit on the pace. He's hitting the wicket hard. He's looking for those slow ball bouncers. He just realises that 1 or 2 balls here are stopping in the wicket. He's bowling some off cutters as well. It's very clever bowling by Chris Jordan. There's no need to bowl at high pace. Just keep things rein back and make Somerset come at you and take the risk of playing the big shot.
Jordan runs away from us, comes into bowl to Tom Abel. He's in and bowls, and Abel tries the sort of the paddle past the wicket-keeper, and it was never there, really. Chris Jordan saw him coming as well.
Well, Jordan just bowled that outside off stump, but Tom Abel was almost off the pitch, wasn't he, when he tried to play that, and beaten for pace, went through to Michael Burgess, but not quite desperation time yet for Somerset, but that's a stroke of someone who knows that with every ball that goes, every dot ball or every ball that only costs a single, so Somerset's task here becomes even more difficult.
89 for 4. Oh, Somerset, this when Sussex really went for it. Jordan comes in, that's wide of the offside. I think that's not going to be a wide, actually, because I think Abel stepped away to the leg side.
He did. He gave himself room to try and hit that, and knew as soon as it was bowled that he was going to beat him for pace.
Well, it's a good over, this from Chris Jordan. His first over only went for 7 runs, I think, so there's just 3 runs off this over so far.
You remember, was it the quarter-final where they were bowling fast and a lot of streaky fours, and then they took the pace off it, the bowlers, they learned from that experience.
At the start of the innings, correct. At the start of the Durham innings, they're 34 without loss after 3 overs.
And you suddenly think, they thought, hang on, actually, we don't need to, let's make them create the pace on the ball.
Jordan runs away from us, comes in and bowls to Abel, and Abel is beaten outside the offside. Is he caught behind? Chris Jordan thinks he's got his man. Umpire is unmoved. Super over from Chris Jordan. 2 overs, 1 for 10. Somerset 89 for 4. 9 overs remaining, and Somerset still needing another 114 to win.
Well, it's a terrific over from Chris Jordan. Really was there. Pace when he needed to. He took pace off as well. Really kept the batsman second guessing. And Abel in the end didn't know what he was doing. I think there were 4 dot balls in that over, Adrian. At this stage, in the position that Somerset in, that's something that they can ill afford. It's going to be Will Beer to continue to bowl his 3rd over. So far, figures of 0 for 12. So very steady figures from the leg spinner. 2 overs, 0 for 12. He's bowling from the Birmingham end. Some movement behind the arm, but it doesn't look as if for once it's affecting Corey Anderson's eye line as Will Beer comes up to bowl to Anderson, who takes a pitch. He's bowled him. Has he bowled him? No. Well, the bails are off. I was convinced then he'd been bowled or
Anderson
stumped.
thought he was out.
Yeah, he was. He was making his way back towards the dugout. We'll have to see a replay, which will take a few moments because it's actually gone to the 3rd umpire. Anderson staying his ground. There doesn't look to be too much of an appeal or anything like that. Would have been for the stumping. Burgess, was that a missed opportunity? We'll find out in a moment.
I reckon. I think it might have come off his pads, and I wonder whether they thought it was bowled.
It looked initially with the bail off that he'd been bowled off his pads. But we're just going to get a deliberation here from the 3rd umpire, Michael Burns. 89 for 4. Well, it's a perfectly legitimate delivery in terms of where he bowled it from behind the crease, Beer. And now let's just look at this replay. Takes a couple of steps down the pitch. It misses. I think that might be a mis-stumping.
Yeah, you're right, Bruce.
Yeah, mis-stumping. Well,
perhaps he's just got his bat back, maybe.
In his momentum round, sort of full circle, he's got back in, but probably a missed opportunity there. A shame we haven't got the other Sussex wicketkeeper up here to give us a verdict on that. Yeah. But missed opportunity from Michael Burgess behind the stumps. 89 for 4. Let's hope from a Sussex perspective that is not costly, but desperate times for Somerset. As Anderson, that quicker ball, that's going to be caught, is it? There's 2 men under it. Who's verging on it? Oh, it's dropped. It's gone down. It's Visa coming in from deep backward square, swirling around, difficult chance, and to be fair, he gets applauded by Danny Briggs. He made a terrific effort to get that David Visa. Big top edge sweep, and Visa might have just hurt his finger perhaps. He's inspecting his finger, or the end of his fingers there. Terrific effort by Visa. It would have been a fantastic catch, but as he went to ground, he jammed his fingers into the turf. 90 for 4, a single taken, a reverse sweep, lap, and that's 4. The man is up, Danny Briggs is up inside the circle, and a perfectly safe shot from Abel. Reverse sweeping Will Beer for 4. He moves on to 40. Somerset 94 for 4.
Well, a good shot, wasn't it, by Tom Abel, who sort of really he alone, because Corey Anderson's taken 10 deliveries to get to 10 runs, which is very unlike him. I guess the slight concern for Sussex is that he's still there, but we've still got 2 overs of Mills to come, still 2 of Archer as well.
And Jordan, of course, he's bowled really well.
Yes.
And so is Will Beer, to be fair. He's bowled exceptionally. And that's another reverse sweep, and that is the same result as the previous delivery. The man is up, David Visa, short fine leg, and it's hit with enough conviction by Abel to clear the fielder and run away for 4. 98 for 4. We're in the 2 balls left of the 12th over.
Well, he's a fine young player, isn't he, Abel? And they've been good shots and premeditated shots as well, but they need to take risks here, Somerset.
They do. What will Beer do in response? Could have had a stumping earlier in the over. He needs to put that out of his mind now as Will Beer comes up to bowl, and that's hit into the leg side this time by Abel. It's going to be just a single fielded there by Jofra Archer. Bullet arm straight over the stumps. Burgess picks it up. 99 for 4 Somerset. 1 ball left of the 12th over. Luke Wright won't be concerned too. The asking rate is still climbing here, but it's been a much better over from a Somerset point of view. If that stumping had been taken, it would have been a real breakthrough for Sussex, but he's played the reverse sweep well as Abel. But it's Anderson on strike, and he's not timing it at all. That one he's played down to long on for a single. Brings up the Somerset 100 at the end of the 12th over. Their target is 203, so they need another 103 off 8 overs. They're 100 for 4. Tom Abel on 45 and Corey Anderson on 11.
Just to mention the rugby today, because well done to the Worthing Raiders. They've beaten Redruth by 68 points to 21. We're having a quick chat there about rugby a little bit earlier on about rugby in Sussex, but the highest placed side with victory today in National 2 South. Well done to the Raiders.
Long way back to Redruth after a 68-21 defeat, isn't it?
Yeah,
it certainly is.
It's a long old way, yeah. 50 partnership up between these two as well, and Somerset have certainly needed something. Anderson just hasn't got going, has he, at the moment? I mean, 11 off 11 deliveries. Somerset will need something special. So what is it? 200 and so 103 needed off 8 overs. So what's that? 8, 10, 12, 8 12s and 96. That's 13 and over.
Yeah,
that's a massive ask.
And it's David
Visa coming in from the pavilion, comes into bowl to Anderson, who drives it straight down the ground. There's runs here, but only one as Rawlings is quickly, and in fact they come back for a second. And Anderson goes to 13 off 12 deliveries, 102 for 4. David Visa in his second over. Wanders back to his mark. Still 2 for Archer, 2 for Mills in the locker for Luke Wright. Chris Jordan still got 1 to bowl, so plenty of options for the Sussex skipper as Visa runs away from us. He's in and bowls. A slower delivery and, well, doesn't time it at all, does Anderson. All he succeeds in doing is playing a miss-hit shot into the mid-wicket area, and Visa is quickly round to field. And there is no run. 102 for 4. Abel on 45. Anderson is on 13. Another 101 needed for Somerset to win. And there's only 7 overs remaining after this one. Visa runs in and bowls that short, and well that's given a wide. He looks towards Michael Burgess, does David Visa, saying, well, it wasn't that wide, but it was a slower delivery. Was it a strange delivery? Almost like an off break.
Just a slow ball bouncer, wasn't it? Taking pace off again, David Visa. A little bit harsher, I think, because 1 or 2 earlier in the innings weren't called, and they were probably as wide as that one from Visa. Just mixing it up, taking pace off and making Somerset do all the work.
In comes Visa again over the wicket bowls. That's short, and that's down the leg side, and that's going to be signalled as another wide. So back-to-back wides for David Visa. The total goes up by 1, 104 for 4. Visa has a word. No, has this been given? Oh, I thought for a moment he'd given a free hit. But there's no free hits for wides. Visa wanders back to his mark. 12.2 overs gone. 7 overs remaining after this one. As Visa is in and bowls, and Anderson swings down the ground. Good stop by David Visa, high to his right-hand side. But yet again, Anderson's not timing the ball at all. He's such a dangerous customer. 13 off 14 deliveries. And if Somerset are going to get anywhere near, he needs to start timing the ball.
He does. But well bowled by David Visa there. Out the back of the hand. Again, taking pace off.
Visa in again over the wicket bowls, and that's swung down the ground by Anderson, only as far as Chris Jordan, who's ever reliable down below us, and Sussex won't mind the fact that he's coming. Oh, what a throw! I think that's out. I think that's a direct hit by Chris Jordan, and I reckon that's the end of Corey Anderson, and that could be the vital, decisive wicket as far as Sussex are concerned. The Sussex players think they got their man. Terrific bit of fielding by Chris Jordan, just down below us at long on. He threw right the way down the ground to the strikers Visa's end. And is he out? We'll wait and see. Well, judging by the replay, it suggests not. But it was a brilliant bit of fielding by Chris Jordan. We're just waiting for the drum roll, not out. Well, I thought he was out there.
Well,
but,
and the reaction of everyone,
yes,
particularly Burgess. When there's a direct hit, there's always a chance, isn't there? In the end, to be fair to Anderson, he just made his ground. But as we really good fielding there by Chris Jordan on the boundary.
Visa in, bowls, pulled away. That's going to go for 6 runs. That's a big hit by Corey Anderson, and Somerset need a bit more of that. Too short from David Visa. Pulled away over deep backward square for 6 runs. David Visa shakes his head, and Anderson, that's really the first one he's got hold of. But to be fair, it wasn't a very good delivery, was it?
No, it wasn't bowled at any great pace by David Visa, as much of the deliveries in this over has been. But the trouble with that was, from his point of view, it was too short, and Anderson wasn't going to miss out on that free hit, really, and he's deposited it into the Sussex supporters to our left.
Last ball of the over. Can Visa get out of this over without another run being scored? Down the go. No, he can't, because I'll tell you what, Corey Anderson has thumped that one over long on for 6. So back-to-back 6s for Corey Anderson. He's a dangerous customer. We said that. He goes to 27 off 17. And all of a sudden, there's just a glimmer of hope here for Somerset. 118 for 4. They still need 85 to win. There are 7 overs remaining, but that was an expensive over.
It was. Sussex just got to hold their nerve here, Adrian, I think. We're going to see Tamal Mills to bowl at the Birmingham end. It's a very difficult pitch, as we've seen earlier, to come in and start playing shots like this. So the key for Sussex, I think, if they can break this partnership, they'll be home and hosed. The longer these two stay, then there'll be 1 or 2 nerves. But Sussex are still in a very strong position. If you'd said to Luke Wright at halfway that with 7 overs to go, Somerset would still need 85 runs, he would have taken that very, very gladly.
76 is this partnership now.
Yeah, it's grown, and we've just really seen Anderson hitting out for the first time. Mills bowls to Abel, who plays off the back foot. That's going to be fielded out there by Laurie Evans in front of the packed and raucous and lively Hollies stand. Just a single. 119 for 4. Abel is closing in on a half century, but it's Corey Anderson who's really struggled to time the ball until that last over from David Visa, who deposited him a couple of times into the crowd. 4-6. 119 for 4. The target 203. We're in the 14th over. Tamal Mills is bowling his 3rd over from the Birmingham end. I'd like to say there's a slope on this ground because we're so high up. It gives that appearance, but there isn't. It's as flat as a pancake. But anyway, Tamal Mills bustling up, left arm over the wicket and bowls. A slow ball bouncer outside off stump, which is hit almost like a tennis shot from Anderson into the leg side. Just a single. Sussex's fielding, apart from that blemish by Visa, and it was a difficult chance, has been pretty good so far. There weren't too many misfields actually in the Somerset innings, even when the pressure was on. But
I just hope that perhaps that mis-stumping isn't going to cuff Sussex here.
Well, let's hope not. I still think, as we've said, I think Sussex are still in a very strong position here. 120 for 4 in the 14th over, 203 to win. So another 83 runs for Somerset to get. You feel it's down to these two if Somerset are going to anywhere near, as Mills comes in to bowl to Abel and gives himself room and plays it off the back foot down to a 3rd man fielded by Visa. Just a single. Not a great throw, to be fair, but Mills backed up and just 1 run there. Abel 47, Anderson on strike on 28.
Yeah. All the time it goes for singles, it's okay, Bruce. What we don't want is another over like that one from David Visa just now.
I think we've probably seen the end of Visa for today. Jordan's still got 2 overs left, hasn't he? Archer's got 2. I think we'll probably see 1 more over from either Beer or Briggs of spin, possibly Danny Briggs, but we'll see. All that to come. It's Tamal Mills in the present, bowling left arm over the wicket and hit off the back foot by Corey Anderson into the offside. It's going to be oh no, that's a terrible misfield by Jofra Archer. That really is schoolboy stuff by Archer. He took his eye off the ball. He's gone down to pick it up with his right arm to throw it back in, and he's missed it, and the ball has dribbled over the boundary. So that's very, very poor from Jofra Archer. He's a highly skilled and highly accomplished cricketer, but that really was the sort of stuff you see on a Sunday afternoon, I'm afraid. 125 for 4. Anderson on to 38. 3 runs there, really, for Somerset.
Well, absolutely, Bruce. And
not really much you can say about
Tamal
that.
Mills wasn't happy with him earlier when he didn't go for one of the catches. I think, but he won't be even more furious there as he concedes runs off his bowling.
It's going to be a change of bat here for Corey Anderson. He's exchanged his blaze. I don't know what happened playing that shot. He didn't have a great deal of force, as we said. Archer did really well, swooped, went to pick the ball up, missed it, and it's just apologetically rolled and just kissed the boundary board here, or the plastic rope with the sponsor's name on it. 125 for 4 as Mills comes in to bowl to Anderson, and he's beaten for pace outside the off stump. Good riposte from Timal Mills, and taken by Michael Burgess. No run, dot ball. That's good. 125 for 4. We're in the 14th, 1 ball left of the 14th over. So what? It was 78 to win. It will be off
6.
Off 36 balls. If this is a dot ball, that's still more than 2 and over. Maybe we're panicking unnecessarily in the Sussex commentary box, Adrian, but you know.
I just worry all the time Anderson is there, because he could do what Luke Wright did. He's capable of doing that.
Well, he's on strike now to the final ball of the 14th over from Timal Mills. At the Birmingham end, he comes up to the wicket past the umpire and bowls to Anderson, who waits for that one. Is that hit high towards mid-wicket? It's going to be 6. Yeah, it's cleared the rope quite comfortably in the end. And Timal Mills, he can't believe he's bowled that shorter ball and picked up so well by Anderson. There's still hope here for Somerset, you know. 14 overs gone. They're 131 for 4, so they need 72 to win off six overs. So that's 72, that's 12 and over.
Yeah, and this partnership now worth 83 between these two.
I just saw Marcus Trescothick capping his hands there in the pod down below, because I think he sensed that a couple of big overs that they're not out of this.
Well, Luke Wright's got to find because there are 2 more overs to be bowled by Jofra Archer. Of these 6 that are remaining, 1 from Jordan, 1 from Mills. Danny Briggs is going to come back into the attack. 2 overs for 28 for Danny Briggs, and they've just got a sniff here. It's no more than a sniff for Somerset, but just a few jitters. 131 for 4. In comes Danny Briggs around the wicket, bowls reverse swept by Tom Abel, well fielded there at backward point by who's that in there? That's Will Beer. They've gone through for a single. Abel goes to 48 off 29 deliveries. 132 for 4 are Somerset, needing 203 to win. Briggs is back to his mark. He's going to bowl to the left-handed Corey Anderson. 71 needed to win. In comes Briggs. Bowls Anderson. Danny thumps that one. It hits the stumps. Well, Danny Briggs thinks he's got his man. Danny Briggs dived across. He got a right hand to it, and Danny Briggs thinks he's got his man, and he has got his man. Well, the umpire was just saying to Tom Abel, you need to wait, but that's a brilliant bit of fielding by Danny Briggs of his own bowling. Deflected the ball, and Abel's decided he's out. He was backing up a long way. It was driven by Anderson. A terrific bit of fielding by Danny Briggs, who deflected the ball onto the stumps. And I think, yeah, look how far down the track Abel is. Does Danny Briggs get a hand to it? Boy, difficult to tell from this angle. Well, who can tell? I mean, it's gone so quickly. But if he got a hand to it, then that's out. The question is, did he get a hand to it? Well, I'm not sure. Well, he was out of his ground. It's a case of whether he got a hand.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. Abel thinks he's out. He's wandering towards. It's always an unfortunate way to get out. Sussex won't worry about that.
Barely see the touch.
No,
it's very difficult. You're just relying there on the honesty of the bowler. Danny Briggs was convinced. He knew he got a touch.
His reaction was immediate, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and Abel. Yeah, and actually, wasn't that nice from Corey Anderson? He just wandered over and patted Danny Briggs on the back and said, "Well done. That was a great bit of fielding." And that's really good to see, Bruce.
Yeah, in the heat of battle with so much at stake, and great sportsmanship shown there by Corey Anderson. Fair play to him, because in those situations when things happen so quickly and the ball's absolutely travelling, you're not sure. Danny Briggs was convinced, and Abel knew he was backed up too far there. Well, that's the end of the partnership. It's from a Somerset point of view, it's a little bit unfortunate the way it's ended, but Sussex will be mighty relieved that stand is over for the 5th wicket.
Yeah, I think my battery's gone. I need to plug myself in. 84, I think, for that wicket. That's a big partnership between those two.
We're just seeing a replay here in front of us on our screen, and he's got a very, very slight defection, and Abel's a couple of yards down the wicket. We'll see it here. Just off the thumb, just off his thumb, no more than that, and enough to kiss leg stump.
In comes Briggs, bowls Anderson down the wicket, and he's deceived there. Corey Anderson looked to thump the ball down the ground, didn't time it at all. The ball just span away on the offside. The new batsman is Lewis Gregory. Now, he's a dangerous customer, is Lewis Gregory, but I would say that these two are probably the last throw of the Somerset dice.
Yeah.
One of these two is going to have to carry Somerset over the line, and it's going to need a couple of big innings. Briggs round the wicket. Anderson thumps the ball down the ground, but it's only a single to Chris Jordan, who comes in from long on to field. One more to Anderson. He goes to 39 off 24. 133 for 5. So 67 plus 3. 70 needed to win. and there are 5 overs remaining after this one.
Crawley have won 2-0 against Morecambe in League 2.
Thanks, Johnny. Now, Lewis Gregory, the Somerset skipper, he's played some big innings in this competition so far, and this, none bigger than this. Briggs is in. Gregory down the wicket, drives firmly. Terrific bit of fielding by Danny Briggs off his own bowling.
He hit that really hard,
Yes, he
Gregory,
did
to be
hit
fair. That would have been 4 if Briggs hadn't intercepted that. Hit it like a tracer bullet. But great comeback from Danny Briggs, bearing in mind what happened in his previous over when he got taken apart a little bit.
Briggs in again, bowls, and Gregory plays the full toss down to deep mid wickets. Just a single. Phil Salt comes running in. No more than a single. End of the over. Well done, Danny Briggs. 3 overs for 29 for Danny Briggs. 134 for 5. So 66 plus 3, 69 needed off of 5 overs. And my rather bad math, I think that's 14 and over.
Yeah, it's
Sussex at this point were 171 for 3.
Yeah,
that's a good, and things like the par score on Duckworth Lewis, that's always a good guide as well, and Somerset are 20-25 runs behind that as well. So Sussex have got this under control at the moment. They won't be happy, of course, until victory is assured, but there are 5 overs to go here, and Somerset still need 69 to win. Lewis Gregory is on strike on 1, Corey Anderson on 39, and it's going to be a change of bowling. It's going to be Jofra Archer, but this time from the Birmingham end. He had 2 overs at the start of the day, bowled really well actually from the pavilion end here at Edgbaston, just adjusting his field there. What we got, a long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square, fine leg is inside the circle, so is third man, a mid off, a extra cover and a long on as Archer comes into bowl, and Anderson Gregory gives himself room and just shovels that up to Chris Jordan at mid off for a single. 135 for 5. Sussex are on the verge of their second appearance in the final of the T20 competition, and their first since they played here in 2009 and beat Somerset in the final. And we just saw a stat earlier, if Somerset do lose today, I think it's since 2011 they finished runners-up or beaten semi-finalists 10 times.
Wow.
That's a bit of a pattern developing.
In all
competitions, including the county championship. Yeah. As Archer comes in round the wicket to Anderson and plays him into the offside and fielded there by the drop. Yeah, Laurie Evans at backward point. It went really quick, really low, and I'm not sure actually that Evans picked that up as quickly as well as might have been expected. He's right on the circle there. He's having a word with the umpire actually to say, I didn't really see that, to be honest. And to be honest,
low trajectory, wasn't it? It may have come out of the crowd.
And there's a lot of colour as well as a lot of noise in the Holly stand, which he's looking into at the moment. As Archer comes in to bowl to Anderson, big inside edge, flashes past his leg stump down to Danny Briggs fielding at third man. They'll take a single there, 136 for 5. Gregory on strike now on 2. Anderson on 40 off 27 balls.
Good over by Jofra Bruce.
Really is. Have just dragged it back, haven't they, in these last couple of overs. Just when Sussex, I think, there have been a couple of occasions in this innings when you think, it's just losing a little bit of control, and they've dragged it back, and that's the sign of a good side, and a side who know how to win and how to, certainly in this instance, defend a total. Going back over the wicket now is Archer, right arm over the wicket, bowling to Lewis Gregory, who tries to shovel him into the leg side, misses, goes through to Michael Burgess, no run. 136 for 5. Been impressed with Archer today.
Oh, this is a massive over, isn't it, really? What's he gone for so far? 2 runs in the over?
2 for 16, his figures so far. I think he's just gone for the 2 runs, yeah. Beaten for pace there, really. We're just seeing a replay of the drop catch. Probably, to give Laurie Evans the benefit of the doubt there, may just have dropped short as Archer comes in and hit through the offside, but straight to the fielder, the aforementioned Mr. Evans, at deep point for a single. Anderson Gregory onto 3. Anderson is in strike now on 40. We've got 1 ball left of the 16th over, and Somerset 137 for 5, so still need another 68. It will be 68 possibly off 4 overs, which is going to take some getting. Round the wicket this time, Archer bowling to Anderson, who gives himself room and hits him down the ground. That might go for 4. It might be cut off by Delray Rawlins. It is. It's just really good work by Delray Rawlins there. Full length diving stop. Unfortunately, he just managed to push the ball into the boundary cushion. End of the over, 141 for 5. So another 62 to win, 4 overs to go.
You're listening to live cricket on BBC Sussex Live from Edgbaston. Myself, Adrian Harms, alongside Bruce Talbot and Johnny Cantor. Never fear if, we're not going to count our chickens just yet, if Sussex get through to the final, then you'll be staying with us right through the evening here on BBC Sussex for commentary on the final. And if Sussex get there...
On FM, that would be on FM on DAB. So if you are thinking of listening in to Stereo Underground and the programmes after 6, that will be on DAB. We will remain on FM.
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah. But we're not going to count our chickens just yet. 62 needed of 4 overs. So it's a huge task as far as Somerset are concerned. But, importantly, Anderson is still there. But he's going to need some heroics here. Lewis Gregory takes strike. He can hit a long ball as well. This is a big over. They're all big overs now. 4 overs to go. 62 needed. Jordan. Back to his mark here at the pavilion end. The sun has pretty much all disappeared now. Heavy cloud around Edgbaston, but it's fairly high as Jordan is in and bowls to Gregory, who's beaten outside the off-stump. Good delivery by Chris Jordan, who gets a round of applause from Tamal Mills, who's there at short fine leg.
You can tell when they're feeling good. He wants the wicketkeeper to toss the ball back to him as soon as possible. They want to get that ball back in their hand, ready to go again.
Well, wouldn't it be great if Sussex could get to the final? The floodlights will be on. It'll be a full house, and I'm sure it's going to be some atmosphere as Jordan turns down in front of us. In his 3rd over is Chris Jordan. Comes running into bowl to Gregory, who's again a swing and a miss outside of the off stump. And this is another super over. I mean, Chris Jordan's first 2 overs just cost 10 runs.
That's all it needs at this stage, isn't it? You get a couple of dot balls, you lose a bit of momentum, and they're right on the back foot again, Somerset. And that's what it helps when you've got the total on the board. You're in that commanding position.
And someone who's bowled in this position many times for England and for his county, Chris Jordan. It's just control, isn't it? And doing the basics, but doing them well, and just outfoxing, what are now desperate batsmen.
60 needed off of 22 balls. In comes Jordan. Over the wicket bowls, and Gregory is swinging a miss again outside the off stump. 3 dot balls. Well, this is a super over from Chris Jordan, and Lewis Gregory just can't lay a bat on the ball at the moment. This is, as Johnny was saying, this is just what Sussex need.
And this is what you get with the bat with Luke Wright, with the ball with Chris Jordan. This is what makes them England internationals, and that's why they're so vital to Sussex.
Turns just down in front of us, Chris Jordan. 3 dot balls in the 17th over. Runs away from us. Well, he just pauses for a couple of moments time as Lewis Gregory rates. The Somerset skipper has got to do something special. Jordan in bowls, and again he gets him on the pad. Is it given out? No, he's not. It's another dot ball. Well, this is remarkable stuff from Chris Jordan. He turns around to the umpire and says, well, that must have been close. Otherwise, there's not out. Sussex won't worry too much about that.
Well, 4 Yorkers in a row, or full-length deliveries. And you just can't play those. You can't get the leverage to play those sort of deliveries.
Difficult to get your bat under the ball, isn't it?
Yeah. When he's bowling into that Yorker block, right at the batsman's toes, it's very, very hard.
The only thing you can do is obviously the scoop.
Exactly, and the pace on, but you risk losing your teeth if you get that wrong.
Absolutely. Only Joss Butler can do that.
Jordan turns. Runs away from us. He's in and bowls. Full toss. Hits the pad. There's a loud appeal. Jordan thinks he's got his man. It's not given in the stage of the match. I don't think it's going to matter too much. It's just a leg by. So 5 balls have gone in this over from Chris Jordan and just 1 leg by to show for it. It's a terrific over from Chris Jordan. 17th over. And still another 61 needed to win. 142 for 5. Corey Anderson on 40. I've been saying all the way through he's the danger man. But even for him now, and Somerset are going to need to score at 20 and over to win this match.
Well, the last, once this over is completed, the last 3 overs have only cost Sussex 10 runs so far. That's how well they've dragged this back.
Is this for a maiden?
Yes, it is. Yeah, a maiden over after... In the 17th over of a T20 semi-final. That's not bad stuff. In comes Jordan. Bowls to Anderson, and he sits on the pad again. They're going to go through for a leg bye, and that is indeed a maiden over. 2 leg byes in the 17th over. Well, you can't buy experience, as you were saying, Johnny, in this sort of a situation. And Chris Jordan, that's a tremendous over. 143 for 5, just 3 overs remaining, and Somerset needing 60 to win. They've got to score at 20 and over.
Well, it's not going to happen, Adrian, unless something really horrendous occurs, and I can't see it, to be honest. We're going to see who's going to bowl this penultimate over. It's going to be Jofra Archer, and Jordan's still got an over left as well, So has Timal Mills. He'll probably bowl the last over. 143 for 5, 60 to win off 3 overs. Well, it's all or nothing now for Corey Anderson. What a brilliant over, though, from Chris Jordan. Used all his experience there, got the Yorkers in, the odd slow ball bouncer, kept the batsmen on their toes, and all they could do in the end, amidst all the frenzied appeals from Jordan, he must have appealed for about 4 LBWs, is get 2 runs off leg byes. Archer in, he spears in another Yorker. It's well played, actually, by Anderson. Down to long on. They've got to run 2 now. They'll do that comfortably. Sussex just keeping things under control. They're fine with that. 2 runs, they can have 2 runs per ball from now to the end.
Yep.
It won't make any difference to the outcome of this semi-final.
Well, they need 6s here, don't they? I mean, they need sort of a 30 over here.
Yeah,
Somerset.
Something dramatic, something a bit like we saw from Luke
Yes.
Wright earlier in the day against Jamie Overton. Archer in to bowl. To Anderson, that's going to be out. Yes, it's a simple catch there for Chris Jordan. Is that a no ball on height? No, it's... Well, there's... Yes, I think it is, actually. It's a full toss, too high. Anderson's disgusted that he's missed out. Jordan claims the catch. It's gone to the third umpire, but I don't think that will be ruled as a legitimate delivery. It's certainly passed above waist height. It was, in terms of not encroaching over the front foot, that was fine. But where has that... Well, it's not pitch. It's a full toss. I don't know.
That's marginal.
Marginal. It's a big top edge. Anderson's given it the big welly, and he's ended up spooning it to mid-off. But he stays in his ground. Well, we think he does. The third umpire having a long deliberation about it. We're seeing several replays. I'm not sure that's... But the thing is, he's down almost on one knee playing the shot, isn't he? Which may have persuaded
I think
the
that's
umpire.
Exactly the point that Luke Wright is now making to the umpire. He's saying that he's crouching, so therefore...
Yeah.
It should be a wicket, but decision's on its way.
Looks like not out, I think. Yeah, not out. No ball they've given.
Right.
So after all that debate and a free hit.
Yeah, free hit.
So Archer is penalised there. I think that's a bit harsh, I must admit, because Anderson is down on one knee. He's almost trying to play a scoop shot. Very difficult to execute that shot at the pace that Archer is bowling at. But 147 for 5. The outcome is a free hit.
Really glad to see Bruce. Chris Jordan just down there at mid-off, just having a word to Jofra Archer. He listens to Chris Jordan so much. It's really
mentor,
important.
Isn't it? It's almost like a father and son relationship between those two.
And he just had a little word. He probably said, "Don't let it wind you up, Jofra."
Just bowl a Yorker here. That's all he's got to do, Archer, and he can bowl those at will. Let's see what he does as he comes over the wicket and bowls to Anderson. He does bowl a Yorker, and all Anderson can do is shovel it into the leg side. They're going to go through for 2. Oh, they know. They just settled for a single. 148 for 5. So good comeback there by Jofra Archer. Gregory's now on strike, 4 off 11 balls, which proves our point from throughout this innings and also the back end of the Sussex innings. It's very hard just to come in on this wicket, dying pitch I'd call it. If Sussex bat first and get 200 in the final, I'm absolutely convinced that they will be champions, because that's going to be a hell of a chase. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. As an unconventional shot from Anderson, shall we say, down towards... the fielder down here at Timal Mills inside the circle at short fine leg, trying to scoop that away, trying all sorts now to get Archer around the park, but it's not happening for Somerset. They had a decent 14th over, a couple of 6s in that off Danny Briggs, who got collared, but since then Sussex have dragged it back really well. 150 for 5, 53 to win off 15 balls as Archer bowls. And Gregory gives himself room. Is that going to be caught? No, it's just short of the man at deep mid-wicket who gets the throw in. I think it's Phil Salt out there. Not a great throw, but Burgess does the fielding nonetheless. 152 for 5. Gregory on to 6 and Anderson on 48.
Ben Brown was saying, wasn't he? He felt Sussex were way ahead of the game, and so it's proving, really. Another good over, though, from Archer.
14 balls left of this Somerset innings. 152 for 5 as Gregory gives himself room to carve it into the offside. Laurie Evans does the fielding in front of the Holly, stands low, flat throw, 1 bounce to Michael Burgess, who picks up 153 for 5, 50 to win then off what will be 13 balls. Well, it is 13 balls at the moment. It'll be 2 overs at the end of this over. Good comeback by Archer. You know, he's a young player with relatively little experience. Remember, he's only been a pro for a couple of years, but my God, he's got an old head on young shoulders now as he bowls. And Anderson, that's a big top edge. That's going to be caught. Yes, it is. It's a simple catch for Timal Mills, a backward point, and that, you feel, is Somerset's very last hope gone. Anderson goes for 48, a brave but lone hand played by the Somerset batsman, and with 2 overs of this Somerset innings to go, they still need another 50 to win. Start the car, Adrian. Sussex are going to be in the T20 final.
Now something's happened here because Corey Anderson is not going off. I wonder if that's another high delivery, or is he going off now? Yeah, I think the umpire is just telling Corey. Well, Luke Wright's having a joke there with Corey Anderson. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Was he signaling he thought it might be another high? No, he's wandering off now.
Home and host, I think. 50 to win off 2 overs.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wondered what the hesitation was there, but I think that's it now, is it? 50 off 2, 25 and over. It's not going to happen for Somerset, but clinical from Sussex, hasn't it been, really?
It's been a very, very accomplished display. Let's hope they've left a bit in the locker for the final. But I said at the outset, didn't I? Right, back at 11 o'clock this morning, I thought the winners of this semi-final might be the champions.
You did?
Let's hope I'm proved right.
You did, Bruce.
Archer, 4 overs, 2 for 32. In fact, 3 for 32 now with that wicket. Just updating the scoreboard here on my phone. Mills got an over left. He'll bowl the last over. Chris Jordan's going to bowl out here. 3 overs, 1 for 10 at the moment with a maiden. Fantastic. And that maiden bowled in the 17th over.
Yeah, I mean, that was a key over, wasn't it? So, Chris Jordan, penultimate over of this Somerset innings. 153 for 6 as Chris Jordan comes in to bowl to Roelof van der Merwe. He's in and bowls. Van der Merwe hits this one firmly to extra cover, fielded there by Will Beer, but it's only a single, and I think Somerset know here that the game is pretty much up. And when you look back, that partnership between David Wiese and Luke Wright was really the partnership that's won this game for
match winning, yeah.
Sussex. Strains of Sussex by the Sea around the ground. I can see those Sussex supporters over there. They're enjoying themselves.
They're on their feet, aren't they, in the Sussex enclosure there to our left, enjoying this.
Yeah.
And let's hope there's more to come tonight.
So, Jordan comes into bowl to Lewis Gregory, the Somerset skipper. He's in and bowls, and Gregory's bowled! Well, if we thought Somerset had any chance at all, that's disappeared now with the wicket of Lewis Gregory, and Sussex are cantering to victory here at Edgbaston in this semi-final. Gregory goes, a wicket for Chris Jordan, figures of 2 for 11 for Chris Jordan, and Somerset are going down to what's, in T20 terms, a pretty heavy defeat here, Bruce.
Yeah, it could be over 40 runs. A bit of a hiding, has to be said. Sussex have been absolutely ruthless. So just a couple of little blips during the defence of that big total of 202 for 8. But otherwise, it's been plain sailing, really. They've kept their nerve. They've bowled well. And a victory set up by Luke Wright's 92 and a half century from David Wiese. But the bowlers have backed it up really well. It would have been easy for them to get a bit giddy, a bit carried away, but they've been ruthless and professional, and they're going to be in the final at 6:45.
6:45. Yeah.
Just saw Luke Wright come and have a word there to David Wiese. I think that might have been no point in bowling to Mel Mills maybe that last over, maybe giving Mills, you know, he has been injury prone, and I can see David Wiese warming up now, and I think that could well be that he will bowl the last over.
Yeah,
rather than
sense,
to Mel Mills. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. So, Jamie Overton is the new batsman. He's going to face Chris Jordan. A hopeless cause for Somerset as in comes Jordan running in over the wicket. Bowls to Overton, who hammers that one down the ground. That's going to be 4 runs. Nice shot, over pitched and hammered through mid-off by Jamie Overton. Luke Wright says to Chris Jordan, quick, get back to your mark, because he's just a little bit worried about the cut-off here, is Luke Wright, which is 5:23. And Chris Jordan comes jogging back to his mark. Just wants to make absolutely certain here, Luke, that there's no mistakes. Overton looks around the field. 45 needed to win. 9 balls remaining. And Chris Jordan waits at the end of his run-up. Comes into bowl to the right-handed Overton. He's in and bowls, and Overton squirts this one away through the offside field. Jofra Archer is quickly in and fields. They're going to come back for the second. No, they're not. Good bit of fielding this time by Jofra Archer, who didn't take his eye off the ball. Gets in the throw to Burgess. 1 more to the total.
If you have to look at maybe the point at which this semi-final might have been won, I just wonder whether it was that Overton over.
Yeah.
Which went for, was
34.
it 30?
30. 31 in the end.
31, yeah. That was the turning point. You just felt then the Somerset shoulders sag.
Yeah. And if you think about, well, say it was 10 off the over, 179, you're in with a shout, but now it's surely too much.
In comes Jordan over the wicket, bowls, and just driven straight back to Chris Jordan, who throws at the stumps and misses. It doesn't matter, though. It's another dot ball. And Chris Jordan's using all his experience here. He's hurrying back to his mark. It's definitely going to be David Wiese who's going to bowl the last over of this Somerset innings. just down below us, just getting himself warmed up as Jordan wanders back to his. I think the cut-off is going to be averted because it's, on my watch, just 20 past 5. So.
And Luke Wright quite cleverly said to the umpire, "Look, we're ready to go here."
Yeah.
You know, just to sort of say, "Come on, it's not just that, factor in these things as well." If the batsman keeps having a look around at the field.
In comes Jordan. Runs away from us. He's in and bowls, and Van der Merwe hammers the ball down the ground, but it's only going to be a single. David Wiese comes trotting across to field the ball, and that is the end of Chris Jordan's spell. What a super spell as well. 4 overs. Yeah, 2 for 17. That's international bowling, isn't it?
Superb bowling from Jordan. He's adjusted his pace and his lengths on this pitch, and he's got his rewards. And well, we've got 1 over left. Somerset need a notional 43 off it. I think even I could bowl this last over and probably defend 43, actually, and even you could, Adrian.
Actually, Mills is now taking on. I think Tamal Mills has actually said to Luke, right now I want to bowl it, which is interesting. So I think David Wiese was all ready to bowl.
Well,
this
there is an
over.
argument both ways, isn't there? That you want, yes, you don't want him to get injured, but at the same time, you think actually he wants to bowl as many balls so that he's ready for the final.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian's going to trot off because he's going to get some reaction from the Sussex camp. We're going to see things out here to the end of this Somerset innings. Sussex are in the final. We can say that with certainty now. It starts at 6:45. So an hour or so for Sussex to regroup, gather their thoughts, maybe have a little bit of food, maybe have a kip, I don't know. Anyway, Mills comes in to bowl to Van der Merwe, who, yeah, it's down to third man, fielded by Wiese. They come back for 2, but Tamal Mills won't mind about that. 162 for 7. And we're just seeing out the dying embers of this Somerset innings. They'll be disappointed, Somerset, today, but looking back, that big over from, there was another over as well from Lewis Gregory, which went for about 20, 25. That one from Overton that went for 31. They have been absolutely crucial. 2 overs cost him more than 50 runs. Yeah. You take that off the total and all of a sudden...
Because they're always going to... We talked about earlier, the strength of their batting. They'll always fancy to probably knock off 180.
Exactly.
Which actually would be a very good score anyway on this track.
Scoreboard pressure in the end has overwhelmed Somerset here as Mills bowls the 3rd ball of the final over. Slow ball bouncer, well bowled by Mills, hit off the top of the bat by Roelof van der Merwe down to long on, just a single, 163 for 7, 3 balls to go in the
Very
Somerset
interesting
innings.
to see how conditions change for the final.
With the lights on, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the scores: 169 for 6 Worcester, 149 for 9 Lancashire, Sussex is 202 for 8, and now Somerset 163 for 7.
Yeah, that was an abnormal Sussex. I think 160, 170.
It's about par.
I think Sussex will be desperate to win the toss for the final. Anyway, we'll see. That's to come as Mills bowls, and he's bowled him. And that's the end of Jamie Overton, and Tamal Mills gets a wicket. He's deserved that as a left armer. He's bowled really well today. A big slog across the line by Jamie Overton, a swing and a miss, and he loses leg stump. So Tamal Mills picks up a wicket, and Somerset are going down here to a heavy defeat. They're 163 for 8, the 3 balls left of the innings, and it's all home and hosed, and Sussex will be in the final against Worcestershire.
As you say, just rewards really for Tamal. All the bowlers really have played their part to a certain degree. Middle of the innings, you've got the likes of Danny Briggs and Wilbeer contributing. But really, you'd probably say they've got some of the best death bowlers in the country. In all 3 really, with Archer, with Jordan and with Mills.
Yeah, it's great to have that up your sleeve as a captain, isn't it? To have those options which Sussex have got. I don't think anyone's bowled poorly today. No one's really been collared. There was 1 over where Danny Briggs got a bit of stick, but apart from that, the control from Sussex has been absolutely superb. Anyway, 163 for 8. We're just seeing out the end of this Somerset innings. The new batsman is Jerome Taylor, the West Indian, who bowled really well earlier in the day. He was Somerset's best bowler by a mile. Picked up 4 wickets in the end, but I'm not sure he'll fancy Tamal Mills at full pace too much. If he's I'm
got
sure
of the 3 balls to face. So
3 balls to face.
Quick single.
Well,
get down the other end.
Just back away and hope for the best. I think will be Taylor's
maybe
tactic.
back away and swing. Maybe
we'll see. First ball from Tamal Mills over left arm over the wicket to Jerome Taylor. Comes bustling up past the umpire and bowls, and Taylor has a big slog at that down to long on. Just a single. Sussex still fielding well. The standard in the field has been excellent throughout. They're buzzing around, backing up. Everyone's...
And they've got to take that through to the next game.
Yeah,
that sharpness,
Yeah, that adrenaline, obviously there'll be a little bit of a down, but then you've got to get yourself up again. But I think the stats favour the side who win the second semi-final. I think there have been more teams who won the second semi-final have gone on to win the tournament. It's very close. I'll have to check that one at half-time or before we come back for the final itself. 2 balls to go. Mills bowls to Van der Merwe, who gives himself room, plays it down to third man. Is that going to be a boundary? No, it's fielded down there in the corner by David Visa. Just 2 runs there.
And that's it. You want to stay sharp. Do you want to just put your body on the line? Yes, you do, because you want to stay sharp.
You've got to maintain those standards, haven't you?
Absolutely.
So here we are, the last ball of the innings. Somerset 166 for 8. Target was 203. So Sussex are home and host here at Edgbaston. Quite a few of the crowd actually, apart from in the Sussex part of the stadium. Thinned out a little bit. People are going for refreshments, and I know this game is now won. And Sussex will be playing Worcestershire a bit later on this evening. As Mills comes in to complete the innings, how can he finish? He finishes with a slower ball which is carved into the offside by Roelof van der Merwe. They jog through for a single, but it's a forlorn chase in the end for Somerset. Sussex have won this game by 35 runs. A very convincing victory. Brilliantly set up by 92 from Luke Wright, 56 from David Visa, and the bowlers backed it up as well. Jordan, Jofra Archer, Timal Mills, Danny Briggs, all terrific. No chance really for Somerset. 10 and over was always a big arse. They lost wickets in the power play. They finished on 167 for 8. So it will be Sussex who play Worcestershire Rapids in the final at 6:45.